Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test.
That's it. Okay, Steve, we ready to go? Okay, it's 6:30 right on the dot. Good evening, everyone. Thanks everyone for being here tonight to our LaGrange December 1st City Council meeting. Each one of you are going to get a chance to speak tonight in public comment. So just get ready for that if you choose to speak, and be glad to hear from each of you all. Don't have any real big announcements tonight. Hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. I did. My family did. We ate way too much. I need not to eat for another 2 or 3 weeks, but but I'm sure I will continue to eat. But if no one has any other announcements tonight, at this point in time, you're always welcome to speak. But we always like to stand, if you can, and say a pledge of allegiance to our flag. And Heather Woodcox is going to lead us tonight. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Heather, if you would you please call the roll?
Latasha. Lucy.
Here.
Jason Taylor.
Here.
Joe.
Here.
Kenneth.
Here.
Trey.
Here.
And Laura.
Okay, I think we have one absent member, Jason Kinzer. I think he sent us all, most of us, a notice that he's, I think, hung up in some airport somewhere and can't get into Louisville. But he said he's sorry he couldn't make it here tonight, but we'll miss Jason. So with 7 council members being in attendance, we do have a quorum, and I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Next item would be the approval of our minutes from our November 3rd meeting, 2025. So hopefully you've had a chance to look over those minutes and see perhaps if anyone would like to make the motion to approve them after reviewing them.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Kenny Powell,
Second.
second by Joe Davenport to approve those minutes. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, our first public comment. Anyone here tonight to speak during public comment time? I'm sorry, Barry, hold on just a minute, Barry, please. Approval of the agenda of tonight. Anyone wish to add anything or delete anything or make any comments about the agenda before I ask for approval? Everyone okay with it?
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Joe, second by Lucy. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Now we're ready for the minutes. Oh, we already had the minutes. Now we're ready for public comment. Yes, sir. Okay, first up, Kevin Jeffries. Good to see you, Kevin.
Yes, sir. Mayor, just glad to come tonight. Just wanted to provide you a couple quick things. I know tonight on your all's agenda that you have the second reading of the comp plan. Fiscal court, we meet tomorrow, and we had originally scheduled our second reading tomorrow, but Barry Baxter, the county attorney, had to be could not attend tomorrow. So we have moved our second reading to our December 16th meeting. So you all will be ahead of us as far as, the comp plan. Got word today that one of the main KIPTA committees that oversees for this region approved last month an additional $11 million construction funds for both the Highway 393 and the Allen Lane construction. And we understand they were supposed to go out to bid in the late fall, October, November. Well, now they say it looks like the bids are going to go out or be opened or put out for bid in early spring of 26. But the schedule's still supposed to be, start construction next year on both Allen Lane and 393 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Only other thing I had was that I had some questions on Facebook about there was a docket item on the Planning Commission of PZ 25025. There was 9 acres on Commerce Parkway next to the Oldham Oaks Apartments, and that's coming up for a hearing the Planning Commission, and it's I think it's 9 acres there. They're wanting to change it from R2 to C3. There was a lot of speculation that was going to be apartments. My understanding is, I think, and Anna's here tonight, it's going to be a warehouses, I believe. It's what, I'm sorry. Sure, if you don't mind. I mean, I just want to kind of bring you up to date on that.
Mhm.
So it cannot be, Anna Bard, senior planner for Oldham County, it cannot be apartments because it's zoning from residential to commercial. But they're going to be contractor, like storage and equipment and offices kind of is what the proposed use of it is.
That's all I had, Mayor. Does anybody have any questions?
So we're talking about the right 9 acres, right?
If you're going towards
Okay.
Buckner on the right-hand
Okay,
side. just
I
past
thought it
the-
might have been 9 acres down closer to 393, but that's not correct, right? Okay,
It's right next to Oldham Oaks, is it? Right.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Let's see, does anyone else have anything for Kevin tonight? I thought I had something, but I cannot recall. If I think of it, Kevin,
I'll be here.
I'll bring you back up.
Okay.
But thank you so much for being here.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And next up tonight is a fellow by the name of Barry Laws.
Barry Laws, thank you very much. Tonight you're going to be talking about the comprehensive plan. I've shared this with Anna, but I'm asking you not to adopt the comprehensive plan as written. From KRS 100.197, which talks about the comprehensive plan, item 1, all elements of the comprehensive plan shall be prepared with a view towards carrying out the statement of goals and objectives. That's an important statement there. I challenge any council member to find any specifics included in the Oldham County Comprehensive Plan to document if any goal or objective has been carried out. There are literally none except for the transportation section. There's zilch, none, zero. Kentucky KRS 100.197 has not been followed. In addition, the comprehensive plan is filled with vapid language which does not hold the Oldham County Comprehensive Plan accountable to or for anybody or anything. Examples: when development is proposed in areas with soil limitations, these are quotes, guidelines that address those limitations should be considered. Should be considered. How about must be considered? Quote, encourage the development of service infrastructure to minimize unnecessary cutting, filling, and grading. Encourage. How about must minimize unnecessary cutting, etc. Quote, the enactment of the above and similar implementation strategies should be encouraged. Topographic characteristics should be completely evaluated and strongly considered in the planning and engineering of service infrastructure and building improvements. Quote, the placement of additional fill material in the floodplain should be discouraged. The comp plan uses should instead of shall, encouraged instead of demand, should be discouraged instead of not be allowed, should be observed instead of must be observed. I guess you get the point. Language isn't vital in a document like this. There's no incentives to follow anything in this document. There's no specific goals, no specific objectives, no specific action items. And again, if you can find them, except for the transportation system, I'd be surprised. Imagine wanting to build a nice house in a nice area with nice amenities, but you don't have any drawings, you don't have a location, you don't have time frames, etc. Would that house ever be built? Now imagine wanting an incredible Oldham County, but without specific goals, objectives, and action items. This represents the 2025 Oldham County Comprehensive Plan. If I were a developer and I read this, I'd see no guardrails against my developments. There's no real reason to regard this document. None. I'd skip right to the zoning requirements and never give this document another look. The data center on 53 showcased this very fact, completely in conflict with the comprehensive plan, yet planning and development in response said, these are just guidelines for developers, and accepted a flawed application. And we've all seen what happens when a developer doesn't want to follow guidelines. Our community deserves a beautiful vision with strong guardrails. This isn't it. Please vote against accepting the 2025 Oldham County Comprehensive Plan. It needs guardrails and specific, clear language that holds our government and developers accountable to our vision, our county, and for our future. Thank you. Any questions?
Not at this time. I think probably where some of your objections may be addressed will be during the time that we have the second reading of the public hearing for the comp plan. And I'll see what the planning officials have to say about it, and we'll go from there. Move on to items, Finance Department. Welcome, Cindy.
Good evening, everyone. If we can take a look at
Was there, so anyone have any questions about any tables tonight? If and when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion that the payables be approved, but I'll want to give each of you ample time to look over. When you feel comfortable with them, please, someone make a motion to either approve or reject.
Motion to approve the check registry as presented.
Okay, motion made by Trey Kamer. Would there be a second? Second by Joe Davenport. Any more further discussion on the motion? If not, all's in favor of the motion, let me know I'm saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay,
okay, the second section in your packet is the financial statements. First page being the statement of revenues with all the expenditures for each of the different funds to follow. One thing I will point out this year is we as a city have had a phenomenal year in property tax collections. We've collected over 90% of our taxes. People have paid them by the discount date. So people have come in. We've had quite a few people walk in the front door this year. And that was a change that we that we've seen from previous years, and we've just had a really good year of collections.
Okay, you have this document before you. Anyone have any questions about any page of this document? Basically, it's just a beginning budget. It takes us year to date, tells us how much we spent year to date. The percentages still stated at the remaining column. So anyone have any questions? I want to make sure that you all have the time and the understanding of anything about this document.
Motion to approve the financial report as presented.
Motion made by Trey Kamer,
I'll second.
second by Latasha. Thank you, Latasha. We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? If not, all's in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, last item, please, Cindy.
Okay, the last item is your bank account balance report. As you can see, we have a significant amount of money sitting in. We opened up a new general fund at German American, which is a money market account. So while it looks like there is a large balance in that account, it is earning interest as well as the accounts down below the investment account. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, you see the investment sheet there. You can see the city's very strong in our investment accounts. I do know that we gave the chamber or the older board this month $250,000 more dollars towards the sewer improvement project in Oldham Reserve. So we're slowly coming to a maybe a somewhat of an end on that project somewhere around December, January. Maybe Scott can speak to that here in a little bit. But we'll have a nice acreage of land available to be sewered once this project finalizes. So we've got that done. So does anyone have any further questions about the financial and investment?
Few we accomplished a significant amount of field work. Now they've taken everything that we have given them, they've taken it back to the office, and they're going to draw up a list of what we still have complete. We've discussed our target and timeline on that again. Hopefully they will have their work and their audit report completed by the end of December, and we're still on track right now to hopefully present the audit report from 22-23 that first meeting in January.
Now that's what year did you say?
22-23.
Okay.
And we've also discussed how to progress going forward, and we're going to turn right back around and jump into the 23-24 year. Does anybody have
Okay.
any questions related to that? That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it. Okay, up next tonight will be Main Street Director's Report by Miss Sarah Garrett. Looks like Sarah is with us.
Hi, guys. So as I'm sure you can imagine, I have been full speed ahead on Light Up LaGrange. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about that. Santa comes at 6, if you were concerned. It's this Saturday, and I want for you guys to join me. And in any capacity you want to, please come out, support, and enjoy the fun times. It'll be good stuff. I have over 25, probably closer to 30 volunteers helping day of. So it's really kind of a lot of community members are getting more involved, which is a big increase from last year. So really, really excited to have the additional help. And I'm really excited to see all these people wanting to help. I've met with the police department to kind of go over the safety plans and things like that to ensure that everything's going to go as smoothly as it can. We're bringing in 5,000 plus people to the city, but we're going to do everything we can to be safe. And then of course, I was around for Shop Small Saturday, and that was pretty successful. A lot of people shopping small this past Saturday. And several of my businesses told me they had an exceptional Black Friday as well. So all good things on Main Street. And then the next thing that we have coming up is we're going to do kind of a community event to showcase Main Street and other community-focused groups in the area. We'll invite places, and we'll invite tourism, and we'll invite Project Guild, things like that, just to educate the public on who's who and who does what and what everybody's mission is. And there'll be food, so it'll be good times. But that's in January or February. We don't have a date nailed down yet, but that will be coming down the pike. And I think that's all I have for you. Like I said, it's mostly just been Light Up LaGrange. Any questions though? Is there anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us sequence of things that are going to begin Saturday night and start with you can start with 11 o'clock in the morning, but tell us where the stage is. What stage are you talking about?
Would love to.
Just tell us a little bit of sequence of how things are to happen Saturday.
Yeah, so we're very excited to be able to showcase the courthouse this year. Of course, last year it was still under construction, but this year, now that it's all opened up, we're going to have the stage over in front of the courthouse. Food trucks will be over to the side with the DeHaven parking lot. We have candy cane making in the winter market, and those go from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. The highly sought after 360 photo station is also coming back this year. It was a big hit last year, and they'll be at the Gatewood. I have several businesses offering fun crafts for kids, most of which are free. Some that are offering specialty drinks just to kind of get people into the store. But the majority of things are happening between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. I expect the shoppers to kind of dwindle down after 6 and mostly kind of in the day around 9:30. That's what my shops usually say. They're open until about 9:30, just to accommodate the last customers trickling in. But we'll have performances by a couple of local dance studios, and we have the Oldham County Community Band coming into play, and the Oldham County Elementary School is also going to be performing on stage this year. So lots going on.
Okay, the stage is on Main Street.
So it's going to be, currently the plan is it's going to be elevated a little bit. It's going to be up on the sidewalk where Colonel Oldham is, just kind of off to the
So
side.
you have a stage there. Now, how big will the stage be, you know?
I am so it's a modular stage, so I can set it up however big I want. I'm kind of constricted a little bit just because I don't want to get into the grass, so I want to use that really wide sidewalk. But I would estimate that I can get at least 9 feet deep. Flip the switch. We're going to honor several of our star volunteers that have been volunteering for years and that have, in and of themselves, put hundreds of hours in this community. So I'm really, really excited to honor them. So that's the quick.
So is that at 6 o'clock?
Yes. So we will take the stage at 5:30, and my guess is that we'll actually flip the switch at 6, and then that's when Santa will start making his way.
You mentioned a truck. Where's this truck? If you're going to get on this truck, where are you supposed to be at what time to get on the truck?
Yes. For the city council members and city employees.
Well,
Yes.
anybody wants
Anyone.
to ride on a truck.
Okay.
Where
For
would
the
that
parade.
be at?
That's at Lesko. You can get there between 5:15 and 5:30 because, like I said, I want everyone to be ready to rock by 6. And then if we even light it up a few minutes earlier, I want people to be ready to go. So that's over there. You'll see the police department and all the fire trucks over there, and they know to expect you guys and the rollback as well. They're aware that you guys are
And will
coming.
Santa Claus be riding in the parade, or will he not
Oh,
be
yes.
in the parade?
Oh, no. Santa will be
Okay.
in the parade.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He's usually on a fire truck.
Okay.
So that's how he likes it.
Okay. Does any council person have any more questions about anything about the parade or anything of those types? Anybody? Okay.
All right. Well, I hope to see y'all there. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, next up tonight is Donna Sabo with our LaGrange Tourism Commission. Hello.
I'll start out. Their bank balance is $23,400. So the biggest things happened to us in the last week is we received our audit back with no deficiency. So I'm very, very happy about that. It's done. It was was a long process, first time doing it, so we're happy that took place and that it's over with, to be honest with you. I left a brochure on your table there. We will have skating this year, starting January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We will have skating in LaGrange at Springs Park under the pavilion. We'll have a coffee and hot chocolate truck there, and a local bakery will be there selling goodies. And we're just going to have a family fun event for 4 days while the kids are out of school. It's going to be a lot of fun. It will be $5 for anyone for their skates, or they can bring 3 canned goods, and we will donate those canned goods to our local food pantry. So that's how we've set this up. 4 to 9 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is going to be 1 to 5. And that's sponsored by LaGrange Tourism, LaGrange Main Street. Parks Departments help me with that. And of course, this always the city of LaGrange. I appreciate any support. I'm going to come out and have fun. Yes, we've got some heaters we'll have out there, some heaters to keep everybody warm. And it's going to be a fun family time, hopefully, here in LaGrange.
So is this, the skating area, is that like a rented
Yes.
rink? Is that how that works?
Yes, it's actually iceless.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, but it's rented and it'll be delivered and set up on the 31st. And then we'll start using it on the 1st. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're excited to have it here. For anybody,
Last time I went ice skating, my grandkids, they laughed so hard at me because my feet were turned outwards and my ankles wouldn't hold my feet straight up. So they said, Papa, that's the most hilarious skating I've ever seen. So I don't know what makes your ankles turn straight up, because mine turned straight out.
we need to do
And it was
a
terrible.
redo. Let's do
I'd
a
like to try
redo.
again over here.
Please come.
Okay.
Please. Please come and hang out with us. We're going to have fun. And again, it's just a family-friendly event, something that we can bring to LaGrange during the last week that the kids are out of school. For anybody has noticed, we had Red Dot pop-up performers here a couple of weeks ago in LaGrange, and Johnny Aldridge at Ernesto's, and Charlie C. was at 119. Got a good response. As a matter of fact, from those pop-ups I've had 4 additional groups reach out to me that want to participate in these Red Dot performances that we're having just on Main Street. It's just something to bring a little more excitement into our city. So,
I guess our EDC will be in full swing. I know Chief probably doesn't want to hear a whole lot about that, but it'd be in full swing, Light Up LaGrange night, correct?
that's correct. It's in full swing now. But yes, it will be, it started, to my knowledge, it's been very low key. The participation groups, the merchants, anyone in LaGrange have been very, very excited about it. I've had a lot of positive feedback from that. And then speaking of that, we will have the ribbon cutting for that this Wednesday at 11 a.m. We will ribbon cut to celebrate the launch of our EDC here in LaGrange. And that will be at the tourism office. There's a EDC sign right there. And we're going to have some coffee and hot chocolate because it's going to be cold. And we're just going to do a quick ribbon cutting there for anyone that would like to join us. So
Are we going to, are we having possibly a little holiday festival night between the city and the tourism at your office? Or have we advertised that yet? Or are we doing it?
we haven't.
Well, let's go ahead and set a date right now, what night we're going to do it, so everybody here can be invited. You know, it's a little holiday,
make sure I want
holiday
everybody
party,
to come. No,
holiday
I'm
party.
joking.
So
Okay, let's do it on.
let's do it on Thursday night.
A Thursday night?
Yeah,
Well,
from,
that- okay,
from
that
5
limits-
till 5 till 8.
5 to 8.
Yeah. And it's
Oh.
for everybody to come in and get a cookie or something, but it'd be put on by, paid for by LaGrange Tourism Commission.
Not a problem at all.
Okay.
How about December 11th?
That sounds great. It's quick.
John,
Well, I
I'm
like to
glad
do
you
it.
got that planned.
Okay.
Rhonda, could you?
December 11th.
December.
All right,
11th.
everyone there, we're gonna have a little holiday, gift party, not a gift, just a little
Oh,
celebration
you bring
on
a gift.
December. No, I don't want a gift.
All right. I'll get the details.
Okay, thank you,
everyone
Donna.
here. I'm not finished. Sorry. As you notice, the mural's completed. The painting's done. There's a picture of it behind you. It's beautiful. It looks great. We've had a lot of positive feedback on that. Still got a couple solar lights to install and a couple security cameras that'll go around it. And that's it. Oh, yes, I graduated this last month from KTI. I'm certified tourism director now. So now you got to pay me more. Let's see, what else did I have on my list? Oh, Jason Parker. Want to go through Jason Parker right now?
Yes, please.
Jason's with me tonight. Jason, you want to come up? Put you on the spot. Put you on the spot. Hey, Jason contacted me. I don't know. We've been talking for a couple months, and he's interested in being part of the tourism commission. I think the biggest thing that he would bring is he would be a huge help for me with sponsorships, music selection, those type of entertainment selections here in the city of LaGrange. I think you all got a copy of his bio. I'm just hoping that you'll approve him to, he owns Parker Seasoning. He will be in the restaurant business. He will represent the restaurant business on our tourism board. And if anyone has any questions, I'll take them now, or Jason can.
Does anyone have any question for Donna on Jason Parker as a nominee to sit on the Tourism Commission as a person representing the restaurant industry, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Jason would be a great asset to Donna and helpful to the community.
Agree.
Okay. Is that a motion, please, sir?
Yep.
Motion made by Kenneth
Second.
Powell, second by Joe Davenport. Any further discussions on the motion of nominating Jason Parker? If not, all's in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I don't know if y'all knew Jason's dad, but his name was J.B. Parker. He worked at Walmart for 41 years. Didn't, huh? Long time he was out there at Walmart. Yeah, he sure was. And he lived here at the corner of 4th and Jefferson Street. I think he rented a house from Elsie, didn't he? For forever. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
No one
Anything
has
else, Don?
Yes, a couple more things. Sorry. Let me go through my notes here. No, I'm good. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'll need you the next tourism meeting. I'll send you an email. Light Up LaGrange, the Night of Life LaGrange Tourism will have an open house. We'll have hot chocolate coffee. We have bell necklaces toward helping to put those beautiful Christmas trees in our city. So wanted to mention that. And the last thing is, Rhonda and I have been in a paint shop this week, and we took an old train we found and we repurposed it, and it turned out pretty good. So we're gonna
Actually, it's out here on the front lawn now.
Yeah,
Looks really nice in out there.
thank you.
Heather and I think Shelby were working out there today and trying to make the place look really pretty for Christmas.
Yes, I think it'll add
Yeah.
to the city community center here. All right, if anyone doesn't have any questions for me, I think I've finished.
Okay, Donna, thank you so much.
I appreciate
Appreciate
Thank
your,
you.
your report. Next thing under Donna's report tonight under tourism, it's something that I want to bring to the council's attention and the city and our website and those at home. But I just want to say that I attended the Brian Ray celebration of life, his life, at the Welcome Center on Main Street, probably a month and a half ago. I think it was October 19th. 18th, sorry. And I've even invited Michelle Ray here tonight, but we had a wonderful night there, and just all of Brian's friends who he's met over his lifetime, a lot of were there. And a lot of the folks that sang karaoke at his different venues, they all were there and sang and performed and talked, and it was just a very great night. But there was one gentleman who was there, and he was from Nashville, Tennessee, and he got up on a little stage and talked to the crowd, or to us, and said, I knew Brian from Nashville. He was in the music down there, and I was writing music, and I knew him for like 20 years, and I heard about his tragic accident, and I just wanted to be here today. But he said my hearing's sort of gone out, but I can't sing like I used to, but I can still write. And so he said, I want to sing a song, or I want you to listen to a song. And he named this song called The Karaoke King. And it honestly fit Brian to a T on how the song came out. But so as the event was wrapping up that night, I went over this man and introduced myself, and I said, I'm the mayor of LaGrange. And he said, oh, you are? I said, yeah. I said, you think you could write a song about us? And he said, probably so, if you'll give me some tidbits about LaGrange. And he said, I'll tell you what, just text them to me. Here's my card, and you text them to me, and I'll try to fit something together. And so 3 or 4 days later, I got a text from him, and I said, okay. I said, old houses, brick sidewalks, a CSX train, old historic properties, good food, charming people, friendly town. Just couldn't believe how it sounded. And then since then, I've been going back and forth with this guy named Steve Wilson's his name. He lives in Nashville, and I said, do you have royalty rights to this song, Steve? And am I allowed to use it publicly? And he said, John, you can do anything with that song you choose to. It's a gift to LaGrange. So he said, you do with whatever you choose to. And a couple of people have heard it, not too many. One person sitting in the room heard it, and that person started crying when she heard it. And she works here at City Hall. But she said that song is just so awesome. So I gave the text to Steve Mahoney, our production manager for music. And I said, Steve, I want to introduce this song tonight to the city council first and foremost, before anyone else hears it. And then hopefully between tourism, Main Street, our city, and our promos and our marketing, maybe we can do something with this song, and maybe we'll go viral. Is that a right word? Viral? I don't know what that means. It sounds like it means you got a virus, but we'll go viral nationwide. And so, Steve, if you want to go ahead but this song, I think, only happened for the fact that Brian suffered his tragedy, and Michelle, and but this is one thing that came out of it that I think is great for LaGrange, Kentucky. So I want you to just listen to this song. Now, I will say, he asked me what my name was. I said, I'm Mayor John. So I hate to say it, he stuck that in there, but we can take it out. But still, I want you to listen to the song. I hope you can listen to the song.
There's a whistle blowing down Main Street, a lonesome hum where the rails meet. CSX rolls like a hearts of gold in the grange where the trains hum low and the people smile, they let you know you're home, where you're meant to be. Historic LaGrange, Kentucky. Mayor John stands with a welcoming hand, a neighbor to all in this peaceful land. The food is warm, the music's sweet. You'll find your soul in every beat. Porches creak with stories untold under the sun. Or when the night turns cold in the grange where the trains hum low and the people smile, they let you know you're home, where you're meant to be. Historic LaGrange, Kentucky. In the grange where the trains hum low and the people smile, they let you know you're home, where you're meant to be. Historic LaGrange,
So that's it. That's the song. So hopefully we can use it in other ways and promote our town. So I thought it was pretty cool. All right. Thank everyone for that, and thank you, Steve, for getting it up there on the system. So we're finished with our tourism report tonight. Let's move on to number 10, LaGrange Utilities Report. Mr. Scott Treese.
Good evening. You should have received my financial report in your packet. I'll run through our projects real quick here. So the Odom Reserve project, we're probably 80 to 85% complete on that. It's behind, it's beyond the contract time. They were late getting started. The last conversation I had to give me a date was January. So we're sometime in January supposed to be startup for the pump station. So I'm giving that about a 10% chance at this point. The electrical building hasn't started yet, and a lot can go wrong. If there's one part wrong, that sets back 6 weeks to get another part. But it is moving along. We're getting close. So hopefully that'll finish up in the first part of 2026. First Street Water Project has been approved by Division of Water. We've got approval from CSX. I talked with the mayor about this project a little bit last week about the, it's going to be very invasive. We're going to be right there on First Street, boring under the railroad to replace an aging piece of water main that, if you recall, we had a water main break a year ago. Now it was around Thanksgiving last year, right there at the tracks. And so we're trying to replace that piece of infrastructure there. So we'll have to do that project after the weather warms up, because we've got 2 customers that we're going to have to temporary water to, and that's going to be done on top of the ground. So we'll have one lane closed during that project. I don't have water pressure reducing valve project is also out for bid and will be open. That's to put some, to connect both sides of our system together so that we don't have to go open valves if it's needed, if the water will just be there. Allen Lane project slated to be spring of 2026, as you heard Kevin talk about a while ago. That's the state project. East Peak Road sewer extension, have materials on site, just waiting for the contractor to, we've already had pre-construction meeting, waiting for them to start on that. Same with Trilogy, same contractors doing both of those projects to extend the sewers. Denton Floyd lateral extension is at Division of Water right now for approval. And that extension is to serve the next project, which is the Marquee Apartments. And that is also at Division of Water for approval. Dogwood Estates is, we're still working, our engineers are working with the developer's engineers to try to work out some logistics in the pump station. And the Fort Pickens tank rehab, we're almost complete. They're doing a final coat inside the tank this week. As soon as they get that done, it gets dried and cured, we'll be filling the tank and getting it back in service. And that is pretty much it on projects. I do want to thank my guys. We had a water main break yesterday, so they got called in on the long holiday weekend. And I will say we do have a dedicated staff that it doesn't matter when it happens, what time of day or night, they always show up and they take care of the issue. So I do want to say thank you to them for being dedicated, for sure. Any questions?
I'm sure you were right there with them, weren't you?
I did actually call and checked on them.
Did you call? Did you get a hold of them?
I did. So I was there in spirit.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
Have we had enough rain to check our sensors yet, or?
So I have a meeting
I know.
tomorrow. Yes. So we do have that. That is complete. So tomorrow they're meeting with me to go over information. They did identify at least one basin that's probably our worst basin that we're getting a lot of I&I in. So once we get that information compiled, then we'll probably go in ourselves and start really focusing on that basin to try to eliminate some of that. Yes.
Paid off, isn't it?
Yeah, and I haven't seen the
I figured it
information yet, but I will tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think it's been successful as far as identifying some areas to look at.
You'll probably bring us something for
Absolutely.
next Tuesday.
Yes. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay. Is anyone having a question about Scott's financial report? This is something I'd like to bring to the council's attention because, as I've mentioned before, they have by ordinance an automatic 5% increase allowance in their annual increases. So if council persons ever want to question the increase for what reasons, that's the reasons we go over these projects. I'm not sure how you get all these projects paid for. Evidently, you just finance all this stuff unless
Well,
it's
the majority of these we're paying out of pocket. We're
Paying out
not
of pocket.
financing any of these.
okay. All right. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve Scott's report tonight.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Joe Davenport,
Second.
second by Lucy Ricketts. Any further discussion? If not, all's in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you so much, Scott. Appreciate it. Okay, looks like maybe we're going to go to a couple of directors' report, then we're going to go to this second reading of this ordinance. So, Mr. Corey Rusnak, the greatest public works director in the state of Kentucky.
Good evening.
They're out there tonight. I've seen them already.
All right, a few little updates on projects we got going on. Here in the past 2 months, we've been concentrating mostly on our sidewalk slip, trips, and fall hazards. Citywide, we're about 80% complete. We probably have we hope to wrap before the end of the year as long as the snow doesn't shut us out. But going into next spring, we plan to move into connectivity projects. We're going to work through some of the sidewalk easement issues we've been going through, East Crystal, West Crystal, and East Jefferson Street. Patrick Schuette's been tasked with doing our streetlight audit. He's making pretty good progress with that. He has everything mapped, and he's been coordinating with KU to come up with a map on their end because our collective bill doesn't really make sense for what we're getting charged. So they're trying to make head. So we may come to the point where we're just going to shut lights off to see what it is and start over. Because it's proven to be a little bit difficult, but we're making a little bit of headway, luckily. And he's also been running around early to work when it's still dark to try to get some of the lights turned back on that have been off for quite some time. But if you want the line report yourself, if you see lights out, the number is 1-800-981-0600. Anyone can call. Let's see, another project we have completed, we kind of participated, we ended up, Commerce Crossing, we had a basin reconstruction project that was approved through Oldham County Stormwater Board. You'll see in your financials, it was $25,000 that will be reimbursed coming up this Monday. That was awarded to Osborne Excavating. They were low bid. Should be just shy of $29,000 for the whole project. Let's see. Sure.
What was that phone number again?
It's 1-800-981-0600. They usually always go by a street address.
Or you can just call Corey Sale.
Yeah,
Want
just
that?
call me
I thought
directly.
about that.
We'd love to help. We're here to help. If you don't want to wait for me, then call away. Let's see, we have, of course, snow in the forecast this evening. If you don't have anywhere to be, nowhere important to be, please stay off the roads. And please do not park on the streets. It seems like when we put out public's, notice that people tend to park on the streets more, but it does prove problematic for our guys. But hopefully it's just going to blow through. We don't have to worry about any of that. And of course, Light Up LaGrange is Saturday, 6 p.m. We'll be there if you want to flip a switch. Give me a call. Anything else? That's all I got. You got any questions?
Anyone else have any
Shoot.
question for Corey at this time about any matter? If not, thank you very much, Corey, for coming tonight.
Thanks, Corey.
Appreciate it. It looks like Stephanie Winter is up tonight to give a report from her area.
I will admit it's a little strange not being here every month to give a report. So back in October, Aaron and I attended the American Association of Code Enforcement Conference in St. Louis. This conference occurs every year in October, which is Code Enforcement Month. We had a great time networking, meeting other people. We are starting every year now to meet more and more people from Kentucky that are actually attending this national conference. Unfortunately, here in Kentucky, we don't have a code enforcement group. Some of the bigger states, California has their own code enforcement group. So we go to the national conference and meet a lot of people, learn a lot of things. This year, the big focus was on ethics and integrity in public service. We learned ways to positively promote ourselves within code enforcement. Everybody always thinks of code enforcement as being a negative thing, but it's not negative. We do a lot of positive. So we learned a lot of different ways that we can start pushing that out and letting people see what we are doing that is good for the community and helps everyone. Some things we were working on, we have kind of separated a little bit from the City Hall office. We are working on moving our office upstairs. The mayor kicked us out. He raised our rent too much. We couldn't afford it, so we've had to go upstairs into a corner closet. So we're still in the process of getting that all remodeled and ready. And when we're ready and it's done, we'll let you guys know so you can come up and see our new space up there. We continued to look at software upgrades. City Council, you guys had approved for us in our budget to do upgrades to our software. And we started looking at the programs we really wanted that would work for us. And the cost was considerably higher than what we were willing to spend. We are working with our company, iWork, that we currently have, and we've made some upgrades. It will not use the whole $30,000, so we'll have a little bit of money left over in the end, but we are making some upgrades, and hopefully within the next month or two, we'll be able to roll out those upgrades so that you guys can see them. It will allow more of the businesses, it will allow residents and citizens to be able to do more things online versus sending in a paper copy and sending in a paper check. It will allow businesses to renew their business license online, make their payments. It'll allow citizens to make complaints online. It's going to have a lot more things that can be done. currently our code enforcement office we're working on collecting for the first fiscal quarter compensation tax. So we will have those numbers for you at the next city council meeting. We're working on a few new ordinances. We've been researching. We've been working on the sign ordinance. I know a little over a year ago, some of you were on the city council when we talked about, hey, by next year, when it comes to election time again, we'll have something in place. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. Other things that Aaron and I are researching and looking for are some sort of a rental inspection program. A lot of cities have this. It's not necessarily something that we're going to do, but we're looking at different options. We have a couple slumlords, as you want to call them, in our city that are moving tenants into very substandard conditions. We just had someone move into an apartment and she did not realize what it was, but there had been a sewage searching different options. Nobody likes government telling them what to do with their property, but when tenants are moving into these situations, there's got to be something that stops that. It's not fair to these people. And the other thing we're working on, hopefully we'll have ready for first reading next month, is the new ordinance for the code enforcement officer. As you guys are all very well aware, the ordinance that we currently have is very outdated. It has things listed that I don't do. It has things listed that I shouldn't do. So we have worked on putting a new ordinance together. So hopefully we'll have that ready next month for first reading. And I think that's about covers everything I've got. Does anybody have any questions?
Anyone have any questions for Stephanie at this time? Anyone? No one? Okay, they don't have any questions, Stephanie. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to go to item 12, second reading, public hearing of ordinance number 18, series 2025. Ordinance adopting the Oldham County Comprehensive Plan 2025 update. Anna, you can go on up to the podium there for a moment. Thank you. Bye, Michelle. Bye, you all. Bye. Bye. See you all. Mr. Craig Mile, any message to the city council about what the comprehensive plan is? Why it's what it is? Is it a just giving them some parameters of what the comp plan is intended to do for planning for growth for Oldham County?
Okay, I'll try to make it short. The comprehensive plan is just kind of like our guide, what we're trying to do, but it's not a law. Okay, the law is the ordinance, the zoning ordinance, and that's the law. That's maybe that would clarify what Barry was talking about. But the comprehensive plan is a goal, and it sets out elements that are followed, but not mandatorily followed, because that's a law. When something is a shall, that's a law. When it's a should, it's a guideline. And so these are required. This is the basis for. It's kind of like the Declaration of Independence was kind of like the preceding to the Constitution. Okay, so this is the Declaration of Zoning. So I'll pass it over to Anna to tell us more of what you all are changing. Every 5 years, it's supposed to be updated, and they've actually done it in 5 years, right?
Yes,
Pretty close.
Pretty close. Anna
Okay.
Barge, Senior Planner, Oldham County. I'm here for Ryan, and as you can tell, I'm a little bit under the weather. So if you can have some patience for me and patience for this presentation, because it is long, but it's not as long as the Planning Commission one if you watch that one to prepare for this, which is on YouTube, by the way, if you want to watch that. So this is the 2025 Oldham County Comprehensive Plan update. And which one? Okay. Our theme is keeping Oldham County on track. You know, Ryan loves train puns, and so this was kind of that. But we also, you know, with the on track, but we also, you know, thought that was a good theme of this. And I will forewarn you, there are some slides in here with some graphics from Ryan because he is a little bit of a jokester. So if you see any funny graphics, prepare to smile. So the comprehensive plan under KRS 100 is a long-range document that outlines the community's vision for its future, including recommendations for land use, transportation, economic development, and community facilities. It serves as a blueprint for communities' growth and is a mandatory prerequisite for a zoning ordinance in Kentucky, though it should guide more than just zoning decisions. The plan's goals and objectives, which are approved by the legislative body, are used by Planning Commission to make their recommendations for rezonings and other development proposals. So something that Mr. Laws said that is our comprehensive plan doesn't give any incentive to anyone to use. However, when there's a rezoning case, as y'all see them come to you, there was one I was here a few months ago for a few more units of an apartment complex where the old Oldham County Sanitation Building used to be behind the funeral home. So that attorney had to use goals and objectives in our comprehensive plan to justify what they were doing. So it's a guide to help use that. That's the purpose of the comprehensive plan. So it does have teeth to it, but like Mr. Craig Miles said, it's a guide rather than a legal document in the sense of our zoning ordinance. So it would be illegal for our zoning ordinance to do what Mr. Laws suggested of having that shall language. So that's why we want to follow KRS, and that's what we're doing. So parts of the comprehensive plan include goals and objectives, land use, transportation, community facilities, economic survey and analysis, and background information. So the purpose and function is to guide development. For example, and I'll go over this part in a little while, future land use. So when we talk about future land use, if we had a crystal ball and we're going to guess what the use of a property was going to be in 5 years, that's our future land use. Now, obviously, we're not perfect, and there's a lot of unknowns in the world, so it's just a guess for the future land use, and that helps guide the development. And this is mandatory for zoning, like we talked about a couple slides before, and we had public input in the process, and it's a long-range vision, and it provides legal framework along with the comprehensive zoning ordinance. So Outlook 2020 to 2020 and beyond, one of the graphics from Ryan. Outlook 2020 was adopted in February of 2002, and Outlook 2020 was readopted in March of 2007 with a few changes. And then it was overhauled in January 2014 with the adoption of the goals and objectives. And the current comprehensive plan, before the one you're considering today, was adopted in November of 2020. So, and then he also has a disclaimer that he did not get permission of Disney and Pixar to use this graphic. So, yeah. Here is the timeline of events. We started with phase 1 with a framework, phase 2 public engagement, phase 3 refinement and review, and phase 4 finalize and adoption. So this process started about a year ago. We started working on updating the census information and putting together the steering committee and the focus groups and creating working drafts. So this is our staff. As you can see, Ryan, our director to the left, and then me, and then John Hine and Sandy Regroden, which are our 2 planner ones, and then Matt Toller, our GIS manager, who worked on our future land use map. So Ryan started about a year ago working on putting together a steering committee that didn't have any vested financial interest in this, which was hard because he wanted community champions, but he didn't want anyone that might, do something to financially benefit himself. So we had community champions, including Dennis Dybel. He was a mayor of the city of Crestwood. Many of you know Dr. Blake Hazelton, former superintendent. And then we had Kim Hides from Oldham County Tourism, Tad Douglas, Alex Noir, and we had Matt Jacobson from the Oldham County Public Schools. So we also had focus groups, and these were experts in each field. So, for example, we had David and Sandy from the chamber, and then we had Chief Greg Smith from Oldham County Police for public safety, along with the sheriff and a fire chief. And then for transportation, we had Jim Solomon, Oldham County engineer, and Corey Rusnak, City of LaGrange Public Works. And then we got a little bit of correspondence from CXX, which we feel like is always a win if you can get in contact with them at all. And then Parks and Library, unfortunately, we had the previous Parks Director instead of our lovely one that's here today. But we also had the Oldham County Public Library Director and Oldham County library or parks director as well. And then we had several people from utilities, including Scott Tracy. So you did have LaGrange representation when developing this plan. So we also did public engagement through stakeholder meetings. We had 5 stakeholder meetings, including one in LaGrange in the building that we have repurposed as an event center that's right next to our offices. I believe they named it Chapel 1880. Is it 88, one of those 1800 years. So that was where our first meeting was here in LaGrange. And then we had 4 other meetings throughout the county, and we had all these meetings in the evenings. And we gave people opportunities to give feedback there and talk to us and kind of learn about the plan as well. We also wanted to give a special thanks to the sheriff's office. They did fantastic in helping us throughout the whole process, getting people in and out, and even cleaning up after, which is totally not part of their job duties, but they were fantastic. So by the numbers, this page is in the comprehensive plan towards the beginning. So when this graphic was developed, we had 3,429 visits to our comprehensive plan website. If you haven't visited it, it's ocompplan.com. We developed a website specifically for this, but you can also access it off of the planning and development page for Oldham County. We had 4 steering committee meetings, 6 focus group meetings, there's 5 public meetings, and at those meetings we had opportunities to fill out surveys. People could do paper or online, and we had a total of 407 survey responses, and then 12 photo contest entries. And then once we updated our plan and then got additional online public comment, there was only 10 responses there. So that's what I was talking about with incorporated stakeholder feedback, created revised input, and got that public input through the web, which was the 10. And then we started with the study review process. And then we create a phase 4 is creating the final draft and going through getting study review committee approval. So anytime you update any kind of ordinance, whether it's data center ordinances or sign ordinances countywide, we have to start with our study review committee, which is a subset of planning commission. And then once they approve it, it goes to planning commission. And then after planning commission, legislative bodies. So that's how we followed that process here. So we had a photo contest, and we had 12 total entries that took place, or voting took place at the 5 public meetings. And we also had time in our lobby where you could vote there as well. And we had 60 total votes, and the winning vote took home almost 70% of the vote. So on the left, that is our current comprehensive plan cover. And then on the right is our proposed comprehensive plan cover. One thing you might notice they corrected is adding that space in LaGrange. So that's properly, grammatically spelled correctly now. But I believe that graphic is downtown LaGrange on the left, but we felt like this might be a little bit more representative of the county as a whole. So this introduction, a lot of this is also in the comprehensive plan. So it was last updated in 2019 and approved in 2020. And then growth in the county continues to happen, and it helps guide that. And our successes in our future are dependent upon collaboration between local and state government, economic development staff, private developers, and the public. So since in the 5 years since the comprehensive plan, we've had improvements in the county in many areas, including revised school capacity standards to include a cumulative phasing chart for multifamily attached developments. And I'll talk about schools and school capacity standards later. And then we've had Exit 20 off of Interstate 71 open, the Oldham County Thoroughfare Plan update in 2010, and then construction of Eden Parkway and East Peak Road within the Oldham Reserve, and then construction of the Commerce Parkway extension. Even though that's not in the city limits of LaGrange, I did want to highlight that because a lot of LaGrange residents would probably use that. And then we have a lot of other updates, including the development of the Oldham County Bike, Pedestrian, and Greenways Master Plan. And then I wanted to highlight some of these other ones, including the John Black Aquatic Center renovation, the Oldham County Courthouse renovation, which we were maybe a little ambitious putting 2025. Obviously, we Couldn't predict some of the unavoidable slowdowns there. And then Springs Park and LaGrange in the Fiscal Court Reception Center. So goals and objectives, at Planning Commission, we went over every single one, but to save you about an hour of your life, if you have any questions on specific ones, we can go over those. But what we did with the goals and objectives is there were a lot that didn't pertain to the Planning and Development Department. And so the ones that were related to other agencies, we kind of consolidated and got rid of, and there were an insane amount of goals and objectives. So theoretically, a developer could come in and it would be like, Thanksgiving feast, and they could pick and choose whatever they wanted. So we want to be more selective on our goals and objectives. And then some of them were repetitive as well. So that's why there was a reduced number of goals and objectives. So we have goals and objectives in the following categories: future land use, transportation, community facilities, environment, housing, economic development, and tourism. So I believe tourism is a new one this year. And then we got rid of government because we already do most of the things that were in there. So our mission statement, I'm going to have to read that from here. So our mission statement is that our mission aims to foster a vibrant and sustainable community that honors our heritage and rural roots while embracing progress, creating a balance between responsible growth and economic vitality while ensuring that the county remains a desirable place to live and work. And for our vision, the vision describes the overall direction of the comprehensive plan, and the goals are statements that establish broad, desired outcomes for the vision statement. And for the objectives, each goal is supported by objectives which help to define the meaning of the goal, specify strategies to achieve the goal, and provide a greater sense of direction. And the action items are recommendations used to guide the county and its staff to accomplish goals and objectives to implement the vision. So the plan elements are a different section of the comprehensive plan after the goals and objectives. And these are the sections that were written by the focus groups, and the focus groups also helped update the goals and objectives. The first section I'm going to go over is the future land use map and proposed changes. So keep in mind, nothing in the city of LaGrange was changed on the future land use. So this is how it sits currently, and you'll notice a difference here on the 2 slides from now. And I want you to kind of pay attention to that and what you notice. So, whoops, went too fast. So I'm going to go back again because it went too many. So you have what's currently, and then what's now. So one thing you might notice is there's less bright green. So before, and keep in mind, future land use and zoning are different things. So future zoning is what's in our zoning ordinance and what people can legally do on their property. Future land use is what, if we had that crystal ball, what could we do? What do we think this might be in 5 years? So one thing we did was, because agriculturally zoned properties and conservation zoned properties have basically the same uses, for the land use perspective, we consolidated those uses into one. And so you'll notice now they're all that darker green or bright, darker green color. And what we did was, after getting feedback from the public, including Mary Lowry, we worked with her to get all of the conservation easements that are in the national database in that light green, because we know that those will actually be used for conservation purposes. That was the easiest crystal ball we could have on there, was the items that are in the conservation easements. So that's one thing we did update. And then we also cleaned up parcel discrepancies from the future land use map. So when creating this map, whoever's working on it has to click on every single parcel and update it. So there were some discrepancies there, so we cleaned that up. And we removed the right-of-way and single-family designations. The right-of-way designation was because that wasn't really a use of the property, so we didn't feel like it was applicable. And then the single-family city designation, we didn't feel like single-family city and single-family in general subdivision really function that differently from a land use perspective. So we consolidated that into one. So the land use didn't really change. We just kind of consolidated it. And then lastly is the one I talked about, combined agricultural, rural, and conservation future land use designations into one color, since the zoning regulations are the same for both. And I did want to touch on the areas of steep slope, since that was brought over. So our zoning ordinance and our subdivision regulations have specific areas, regulations regarding areas of steep slope. Anytime a development comes through our office, whether it's just a site plan for administrative approval, or it goes to technical review committee, or it goes all the way to you for legislative body, on their plan, they have to have whether or not there's areas of steep slopes. And there's county, state, and federal regulations regarding that. And that's why we have a county engineer. That's why you have engineering staff. And that's why we, how we, manage that. So, and like I said, we also created a conservation future land use designation that shows all the recorded in documented conservation easements in the county. We use the National Conservation Easement Database. It's going to be hard to kind of monitor this unless they get funding again. Earlier this year, they were not granted any more federal funding for the program. So, a lot of these are recorded in different areas, and it's hard to track these. But as far as future land use goes, we know it's really easy to know what is going to be used in a conservation easement, because those are really limited uses. And we also labeled current, in progress, and approved developments to assist in identification and location, because we were like, what is that up on, whatever state road going to be, or what is this in Crestwood going to be? And it kind of jogs our memory, and we can look up more information about it. So here are the major changes. So as you know, KSR is moving their prison out to Eastern Kentucky. Well, I guess they're in the process of moving everybody out. I don't know what stage they are in that. And we don't know what the state is going to use that as. And the institutional category was for things of government use, or churches, or community centers, stuff like that. However, the state's going to use that property in some productive way. So our best guess is mixed use, because we don't know what use they're going to have. But we know it's not going to stay institutional for forever. We don't even know if it's going to be no longer institutional in 5 years, because how government works, some things don't move as fast as we would like. So mixed use was our best guess. And then the Clayton and Lambert property, that's at 393, where that 393 extension is going to be. A lot of that property is changing to commercial usage, or has rezoned to commercial. And so we expect more of that to be commercial rather than industrial, so less intensive of a use. And then on the Commerce Parkway extension, we believe that from just commercial to commercial industrial is more appropriate, and it gives that more flexibility on what the future uses could be. So for Highway 22 and 393, typically anytime there's an intersection of two major highways, there is commercial use in that area. And I actually got a call on Wednesday from a guy that owns one of the properties on the north side of 22, talking about wanting to rezone his property to commercial. So he was really excited that we have that future land use, because when people go to rezone, this is one of the things we talk about is what's the future land use of this property, because that kind of helps their case a little bit. And so, but typically anytime you have an intersection of two state corridors, there's more likely to be commercial area there. And we had kind of cleaned up Jericho Road to make it where there's less of those just ag areas along Jericho. And same with Holly Gibson, we kind of cleaned up those areas, because we feel like, typically in our comprehensive plan, what we encourage is infill of developments rather than, going out to Ballardsville and putting a new subdivision. We'd rather, if there's this space between a bunch of subdivisions that already exist, we'd rather people develop right there than just in some rural area off in the end of the county, and that's called infill development. So as a reminder, future land use map does not change the existing zoning. A few weeks ago, I was reading some of the first meeting minutes of Planning Commission, and the county attorney at the time was having to explain the comprehensive plan to the fiscal court and other people there, and he was having to explain this as well. And, you know, it can kind of get confusing. A lot of people think, well, if you change the future land use, does that change the zoning? But they're two totally different groups. So the future land use map simply provides options for owners without stripping them of their existing property rights. And it gives the community and its residents a general idea of what to expect in the future and makes decision making less arbitrary. So, you know, when you have a rezoning case come before you, it kind of helps when you have an idea of what people expected this to be in the future. But just because it doesn't align doesn't mean you have to deny it, if that makes sense. If it's, you know, it's just a guide, really. So population, we used the census data, or the Census Bureau data, and the University of Louisville population data that they had for us to update this. So as you can see, the population of Oldham County is growing, believe it or not. And it's growing moderately, not significantly, I would say. But as of the 2020 census, we are at 67,607 people, but I believe in reality, we're over 70,000. So Oldham County is ranked number 8th in overall growth out of all the counties in Kentucky from 2010 to 2020. And Oldham County is ranked number 7 in Kentucky in percent change in growth from 2010 to 2020. The fastest growing city in the county is Crestwood, growing by 1,652 residents, or 36.5%. And the county is expected to surpass 85,000 in population between 2030 and 2035. So, and these are just projections. You know, there's a lot of things that can change that. But, you know, we do know we have Clore Station coming, which will increase the population of the county significantly. So these are the populations from the University of Louisville, population projections from 2010 to 2040.
Now, Crestwood, I hate to, but didn't Crestwood go all the way to Ballardsville?
No.
I thought way up 22, people said they have a Crestwood address.
It's not city limits.
No,
So
huh?
it's not the city limits of Crestwood. They may just have a Crestwood zip code.
I'm just trying to picture where Crestwood's growing so much at in my mind.
Crestwood addresses go all the way to Ballardsville, go out.
I know, but is that showing that Crestwood is growing the fastest in the county because they're building stuff in Ballard Glen?
No, that would just be the
But
city
my
limits.
question is, I don't know where all the growth in the city limits of Crestwood is.
So it might be so this is from 2010 to 2020. So there's new subdivisions and stuff like that. But City of LaGrange was number 2 in growth, just behind there. And you'll see some of that information is in the population section of the comprehensive plan.
Well, does it depend on which data set you use? Whether you use the post office's data set or you use your zoning data set?
So no, it's the data set is by the Census Bureau, and they follow city limits.
What do they use? They follow actual city limits?
Yeah, I believe so. And they have census blocks and stuff like that they use. I really recommend, if you like data, to go to data.census.gov and look up LaGrange, Kentucky, and you can see like the city profile. It's actually, I love data, so it's interesting to me. And you can get a lot of information, including like the population distribution on the ages and gender of the residents in the county or in the city.
I think maybe that Crestwood did add additional land
Mm-hmm.
to their city. land.
Yeah, from 2010 to 2020,
Yeah, they
which,
did.
yeah, I believe so. They annexed quite a bit of land. And LaGrange specifically grew by almost 2,000, and the percent change was 24.6%. So in 2020, Oldham County's percent of population over 65 was 15.1%, which was an increase from the 2010 census of 9.2%. But below the state percentage of 17.8%. So we have a smaller proportion of people in Oldham County that are over the age of 65, but that is growing. The median age for Oldham County is 39, and the median age for the state of Kentucky is 38. We expect the Oldham County to see a significant increase in the number of residents over the age of 65 due to the current population distribution, which you can see this I pulled from the Census Bureau. So those are population pyramids. And we have, a lot of people that are from the age of 40 to 59 years old. And over the next 25 years, those people will be 65 and above. And then, for the whole county, I was looking at various cities, and the smallest population group, other than those over 80, is around the 20 to 39 year range. But I feel like that's probably due to affordability and people going off to college. People a lot of times don't come back home for many years. So regarding housing, according to the 2016 housing needs assessment completed by the Kentucky Housing Corporation, Oldham County has the highest rate of homeownership and lowest rate of renters, which those kind of go hand in hand. According to the Census Bureau, Oldham County's median housing unit value in 2022 was $375,000, almost double the state's value of $192,000. Which I'm sure it's even closer to 400,000 now in 2025. And just keep in mind, median means middle. A lot of people haven't taken statistics in a while, but the nice thing about median and why the census uses it is because it's less likely to be skewed by, if you had a $25 million property and the county sold, or, $1 property and the county sold. This is just the middle number. So the median household income in Oldham County is significantly higher than both Jefferson County and the state of Kentucky. And of course, the percent below poverty level is also low because those are kind of typically inversely related. For community facilities and services, we had emergency services, libraries, and parks all contribute to this. Maintaining and improving these public facilities and services at cost-effective and adequate levels is an important community need, and providing that to the community. I mean, just having this building is nice. Before this meeting started, there were kids being able to play basketball here. So those kind of things in the heated area where they might not be able to play outside right now with it being so cold. When community facilities are provided at appropriate levels of service, negative impacts resulting from new developments are minimized. And this makes Oldham County a desirable place to live, work, and play. And I mean, again, like kids must love being able to have indoor and outdoor facilities. This beautiful park down the road, or, indoor facility. We were just talking about the walking track at work inside the other day and how nice that is to have in bad weather. So fire protection, we have that section in that was contributed by all the fire departments. Law enforcement, we had the city of LaGrange contribute, Pee Wee Valley, Oldham County Police, and Oldham County Sheriff's Office. And then we also had information there from dispatch and emergency management. And then also from Parks and Recreation. So the county currently manages 6 parks. I don't know if I can say 7 now. Can we say 7 now? And then I guess we can maybe update. I don't know how big that latest purchase was, the property was, but 6 parks ranging from a 5-acre park to a 217-acre park with a total of 461 acres before this last purchase. A community and convention center, aquatic center, recreational opportunities, and special events. So for LaGrange Parks and Recreation, and hopefully this is up to date, somebody can let me know back there if it's not, 5 city parks, including the James Beaumont Community Center, LaGrange Train Museum, 18-hole golf course, Walsh Park Event Center and Tourism Office, and recreational opportunities. And this is another Ryan Fisher graphic. We have several golf courses in the county, if you don't know. He likes to get some chuckles, so he'll appreciate that y'all laughed. For libraries, if you have not been to the Goshen Library, 10 out of 10, recommend, definitely go out that way. It is beautiful, and it's a great facility. When we had our public meeting there were so many students after school that came over there just to study and get homework done. And it's just great to have a community facility like that. And they're currently wrapping up their strategic plan. And then it's a 1 library system with 3 locations, and their goals include facilities growth, increasing community engagement, leveling up with staffing and community events. Section 4, schools. Now, currently they have some capital improvement projects, including they just recently started at South Oldham campus improvements, Buckner High School, and hopefully future LaGrange Elementary School. Center for Creative and Performing Arts, and a comprehensive plan for athletic and site enhancements for all campuses. So, school capacity standards. So we are not aware of any other county in the state that does school capacity standards, but we love them because it helps prevent our schools from being overcrowded. So we treat schools like a utility. So they created a formula, Dr. Hazelton, that is very accurate in predicting how many students a development will create. And so this is to make sure that schools have adequate capacity to accommodate the projected school populations generated by proposed residential developments. And I'll say a little personal anecdote to this. So Michael Williams, who is in charge of this right now for Oldham County, he went to high school with my mom in Georgia. And when they went to high school together, they were on split schedules because their schools in Marietta were so overcrowded that they had, my mom did not go to high school at the same time as her sister, who also was going to the same high school. So I would say Michael, from his own personal experience, is very motivated to not have overcrowded schools in Oldham County. And then development proposals may be denied if existing school facilities are unable to support enrollment. So the intent is not to restrict development, but ensure the growth aligns with the functional capacity of school systems. So a lot of times I see people complaining online, our schools are overcrowded, this or that. But before any development is approved, they get approval at the school board for how many units per year they can have. So the maximum amount of units per year they can build for single family residential is 35 units. I've seen as low as 28 approved because it was in the South Oldham High School District, and that's the school that's generally at the most capacity. And then I've seen as, the maximum 35. We also have multifamily, which is treated differently, and they can get up to 75 units per year because I believe they typically produce less children. So these are the school enrollment projection numbers, and something that's interesting from here is that you'll notice that the numbers are stagnating or going down. And we have a few theories for that. One, people are putting their kids in homeschool more or private school. Two, with the county aging, there's less children that are going to be in school age schools. And then thirdly, there's more than this, but also grandparents in this county are typically not raising their grandchildren. So that's a positive that, people can raise their own children. And then lastly, people are having either no children or fewer children. And so that's, decreasing the projection numbers. And so that's something that we're noting is that school projection numbers are actually stagnating. So onto environment, I'll keep this one short. We look at things like soil types in the county. The health department especially looks at this with septic systems. Thankfully, LaGrange, you have sewer, which is fantastic. And then we also look at topography. So that includes the degree of slopes. Greater than 30% is considered a steep slope. And that is an important part of all of our plans. We also look at karst topography. So that map of Kentucky with the blue areas, the darker blue is the more the likelier probability of karst area. And Oldham County pointed out has a more moderate level compared to other areas of the state. So they the contributors to this was MSD, LaGrange Utilities, Louisville Water, and that's Jim Silliman, our county engineer's picture, and then also the health department. So transportation, kind of already touched on this a little bit today, but it's comprised of a highway system, residential street system, and limited transit system. Streets and sidewalks are maintained by KYTC, Oldham County Road Department, City of Crestwood, and LaGrange Public Works. So there's 360 miles maintained by Oldham County, 41 by LaGrange, and 20 by Crestwood, which I'm sure winter is extra fun in that scenario for them. So roads and development have a close relationship, and transportation improvements may be needed because of increased growth, and transportation improvements may also stimulate additional growth. Uncoordinated transportation improvements or deteriorating roads may limit growth. So for example, Planning Commission just recently approved an apartment complex on the corner of Hounds Lane and Highway 22 on the Jefferson-Oldham County line. Part of the development is in Jefferson County, so they have to get Louisville Metro's approval, but we've approved them. And the problem with that is Hounds Lane and 22, and they had to complete a traffic study as part of the plan and their proposal. And the traffic study determined that they needed a left turn lane from 22 coming from Jefferson County onto Hounds Lane, and that would cost $250,000. So we made them, or they agreed to either pay the $250,000 or to give the county $300,000 to do, so that we could do more improvements to that intersection. Because there's not only the problem of the turn lane issue, but if you've ever been on Hounds Lane in 22, the intersection is skewed, and typically for roadway safety, you want it more at like a 90 degrees so people can see when they're turning both ways. So they agreed to give that $300,000, and if the county doesn't get the project done on time, then they can get their money back and just do the turn lane. So it's kind of a public-private partnership, but ultimately they're paying for the improvement that is needed based on the data from their traffic study. So we do that regularly. We had something happen on Commerce Parkway in Griffith. There was an event center approved at the corner of Commerce Parkway and DW Griffith, and I believe they agreed to give the county $30,000 for an improvement there. But and the reason for that, giving the county rather than doing it themselves, is if we do any major improvements to Commerce Parkway, we don't want to be tearing up the road more than necessary. So that kind of helps contribute so everything can be done at once. So here are some transportation projects that are in the state's plan. In the KYTC's 6-year highway plan. Just because they're on here doesn't mean they'll get done anytime soon. I'm sure y'all know that. So like Magistrate Jeffries just mentioned earlier today about Allen Lane and 393. Those are on here as well, of course, because they've been here on there for about 20 years or so. And then there's some improvements on I-71, including widening, and then some projects throughout the county as well, including 53, as you well know. So some transportation components include complete streets, bikeability, walkability, safe streets and roads for all, mass transportation, Oldham County greenways. Something I want to touch on real quick is complete streets and safe streets and roads for all. So those kind of go hand in hand, and that means having roadways that are not just designed for the driver, but designed for all users. So people who are biking, walking, rolling, whatever mode of transportation they use, so that everyone can move safely. And I think that's very important in a place like LaGrange, and y'all are working on improving that. And I mean, y'all might see me walk around during my lunch breaks, and I love walking around because it's just the best small town feel of this city. And I love how the courthouse is looking too. But you know, you want to make sure that it's safe for everyone, because you know, we don't want any bad accidents to happen. And through KIPTA, which is our regional planning agency, we have a safe streets and roads for all safety action plan for the county that they developed using consultants. And actually the county and the city could apply for action or implementation grants through that as well. But yeah, it's a really good program. Solid waste. So we had Becky Zocklin before she retired from the county update our solid waste section. That includes, you know, Republic, and then all our different recycling programs. We also have a tourism section that I believe used to be a couple paragraphs in the last comprehensive plan, but we had Kim Hides write it, and she wrote a really great section. And we also now have tourism goals and objectives, because we feel like tourism is a vital part of Oldham County, and there's large economic benefits to it, and people can spend money and leave without having, you know, more population added to the area. So, you know, somebody said tourism is the map, the driveway, and the front porch of Oldham County. And visitors travel by interest in tourism's goal is to ensure that every community has tourism-ready products to offer. It supports the quality of life and economic growth. And then also, I just wanted to say, I don't know if y'all saw in the Oldham era, but Kim Hides did get some awards. And then did you get some awards as well from the Kentucky Tourism Office? So we just have fantastic tourism people around here. So lastly, we have supplemental resources, and this includes the Crestwood Master Plan, the Brownsboro Master Plan, which, by the way, the Brownsboro Master Plan used to be part of the goals and objectives. However, that's about to expire, and we don't know of anyone that's going to be updating that. And that was not approved by a legislative body, and so we felt like it belonged more in the supplemental resources. So that's another section of our goals and objectives that got reduced because we moved it as a supplemental resource. The Oldham County Greenways Master Plan, the Commerce Parkway Traffic Study, the Highway 22 Traffic Study, Watershed Plans, and Oldham County Thoroughfare Plan, and the Ohio River Corridor Master Plan. So you've probably heard me talk enough, and I am ready for any questions that you have.
I think what I'll ask the council, we usually break about 8 o'clock. Do you all want to take a small break and then we'll get back into the public hearing portion? I don't know how long that will go. Never know. So we could probably end with Anna unless someone has a question for Anna. If you don't, then we'll take about a 5 to 8 minute break and then we'll come back and we'll begin our public hearing. Okay? Is that okay with everybody? All right, let's take about an 8 minute recess.
I started at 5, but you can have it for 4 if you want to. Huh?
You must have charged
It's
up.
gotta have
I
a
don't see the
interior
cord there.
paint.
Gotta have it in?
I did.
No, no, Lord, no. It's only got 50-something thousand miles.
Only 50. Wait till you get 350.
Okay, hope everyone was able to get stretch your legs and whatever. So we'll go ahead and get ready to begin our public hearing. I guess before we do that, Mr. Craig Mile, before I ask for a motion on the adoption and approval of the comp plan, a motion to, I guess, either approve or deny. I guess it can go either way, but you have any words for based on what you've heard Anna say, and, as far as we move into the public hearing process
Not really. I just want everybody to understand that.
with another body? What does that mean?
Well, coming from Pewee Valley, they always have to be different. So they always have something that's somewhat different, like they have a minimum lot size of an acre.
Okay.
Okay, so we can adopt or amend a certain portion of it, and then it becomes part of the rule, the comp plan. I know that's true about the ordinance. I really don't know that that's for sure true for the comprehensive plan. I think the comprehensive plan is uniform, but the zoning ordinance is separate.
One last question, Mr. Craig Mile. What's your opinion on what was spoken to us in public comment by Mr. Laws about him wanting to insert in a comp plan the word shall versus the word should? Anna spoke to it somewhat, and she referred to law, I think KRS 100 as law that says it cannot be so strict in the words such as shall and should in a comp plan. What, you have any opinion on that?
Sure. I think that she explained it well. It's kind of like the difference between a Kentucky statute and an administrative. There you go. Oh, good. They didn't hear me. I said that before. Okay.
Could you
It's kind
repeat
of like
that?
the difference between a statute and an administrative regulation. Regulations are not the law. You can't criminalize somebody for violating this, but a plan or a goal or a guideline.
Okay.
But the ordinance, which is promulgated, I love that word, promulgated by the plan. So the ordinance is based on the plan, but it's the law. This is just the plan. And it actually has elements and goals and objectives. And even though they're very similar, they're one's a subset of the other. So
Okay.
I hope that helps a little bit.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll get into the discussion of it and we'll see where we go with it.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve the actual comp plan before the council tonight? To move it forward for the discussion of? Do we have a motion to discuss and move forward to a public hearing by a council member for the comp plan? No one wants to make a motion to approve it, correct, or deny it? Or to move it forward?
To move it forward.
Okay,
Well, discussion.
okay, discussion. So we have a motion by Lucy. Do we have a second?
Mayor, shouldn't there be a motion to approve or
To second her motion to approve? So we can discuss it. We don't want to have a comprehensive plan, or we don't want this comprehensive plan? We have a motion and we do not have a second.
I'll second it.
Latasha has seconded. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Thank you, Latasha. Now we have a motion second. Now I need a motion and a second to go into the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Lucy to go into a public hearing. Would there be a second?
I'll second.
Second by Laura Taylor. Thank you, Laura. All those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're in the public hearing process of the update of the comprehensive plan. So first, I would like to ask who in the audience tonight would like to come forward in support of the comprehensive plan as presented to this LaGrange City Council? Anyone here in support of the comprehensive plan in its present form? Nobody appears, so there's no one in support of it openly. Now, secondly, who's here tonight opposed to the comprehensive plan in its present form? Would you like to come forward, sir? Okay, come forward and speak about your opposition to the plan.
Barry Laws.
Would you give him an oath, please, Heather, just an oath to tell the truth?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
As I was talking about earlier and about language, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree that there's anything illegal about saying the word shall. There is nothing specifically in KRS 100.197 that talks anything about language. And your lawyer there too. I'm sorry, I disagree with what you said. The KRS 100.197 is law. It's KRS. So you can say things like you must, you will, you can. You can say these things because it is law. That's number one. Number two, which was my other point, of no specific goals, no specific objectives, and no specific action items. I encourage you to look at the transportation, if you don't mind indulging me for a minute, and you will see that they have specific times set out when they're going to accomplish certain tasks. That is a plan. This, what you've been read for the last, whatever it was, hour and a half, 2 hours, is a brochure for Oldham County. It's a beautiful brochure. They did a great job, but it is not a comprehensive plan. There is nothing in that plan that has KRS 100.197, number one, all elements of the comprehensive plan shall be prepared with a view towards carrying out the statement of goals and objectives. You folks tell me one thing in that plan besides transportation that talks about carrying out the statement of goals and objectives. There aren't any. This is a brochure. Like I said, it's a beautiful brochure. They did a great job, and you guys spent a ton of time on it. But I told them early on, this is no secret, that this is not a plan. If you were a business and you were saying, am I going to put money into the plan for Oldham County in the next 5 years, would you give us 1 red cent? You would not. Because there's nothing in this plan that gives you things that should be in a plan. I'm really frustrated. They've spent so much time, so much energy. And one last thing, and I'll let you all go and I'll answer questions if you need. When they had their little groups, law enforcement, tourism, whatever, they didn't ask any opinions from Joe Q Public. Why don't I have a say in the future of my law enforcement, in the future of my tourism, in the future of my transportation? Why aren't citizens involved in creating this document? I mean, it's a serious question. This has all been hedged by BIA, which is the Builders Industry Association, who specifically told them to give watered down information in here. This is corporate greed. These are our builders telling us what we want our county to look like in the future. And it's absurd. The comprehensive plan should be something I can look at and I could say, Mayor, you can't do that because it's not in the comprehensive plan. You know what planning development's response to that is? Oh, it's just a guide. It doesn't matter. Then why the hell are we doing this? It makes no sense. It can be a great document. In fact, this document can be turned fairly quickly and inexpensively into a very good document. But right now, folks, you are looking at a brochure for Oldham County. And it's sad. Any questions?
Well, let me ask you this, Barry, and
Sure.
you know, I hear you, what you're saying, but like on goal E-2, is this what you're talking about? This goal and how it's written? You don't think it says enough, but it says as a comp plan, allow site development. It's easy to understand. Allow site development that does not adversely impact environmental features and resources or air quality, and minimizes noise and lighting impacts to and from adjacent and nearby uses. Are you saying that's not strong enough? It should say something much stronger. It doesn't say anything, but
there are some in there that are fine.
okay, is that fine? Is that fine? Is that fine?
It's okay. It's not beautiful.
I know, but you want to say every site development shall not cause any lighting impact to adjacent nearby uses. That's what you're asking for, but I don't know if you can just minimize the total light output to the degree that you're asking that it be minimized to zero. I just don't know that you can do it.
Well, again, I don't have what you have in front of you.
Well, it's part of the comp plan.
Yeah, I can pick 3 sentences from there that look okay. I'm not saying you did that, but
No, I didn't.
specifically,
I
wording, when you have wording like should, shall, or should, encourage, should be discouraged, that's just watered down language. That means nothing. They should do something. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, next.
Well, you were talking about earlier in the public comment about soils or whatever it said should not maybe be developed or built on. Well, I think the reason it says should, there may be mechanisms or abilities for, I assume, developers to work around those particular concerns about that particular piece of property. But if you put shall in there, that means don't go near it. Don't even try to get any other ideas to try to do preventive things on that particular piece of property to make it usable. Is that what you're saying? It just shall not be even looked at? Because I do know attorneys, when they are making their closing arguments, they will refer to the goals and objectives. I've met these goals and objectives, so your own comp plan says I can do this. I know what you're saying because they use this to their
I used it when I came into town.
right. So that's sort of where I am about.
So
if you put shall in there, there's just no give any way, shape, or form on nothing.
Well, look at this statement. Just again, I don't want to get caught in the weeds here because we could spend 5 days doing this. But the specific one I was quoting, the placement of additional fill material in the floodplain should be discouraged. It shall be discouraged. Now, can you work around it? That doesn't mean you can't work around it. But yes, we shall discourage that. Should be discouraged is like, who gives a crap? I mean, it's just, the language is vapid in this.
Okay.
It's pervasive through the whole document. And okay, that's one of it. And then the other part is not having the goals and objectives set out that you can actually look at and touch in 5 years from now and say, we knocked out A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Anna herself said, we don't know what's going to happen, but at least the transportation department put dates on it.
Well, let me ask you this: if we continue and not approve this for months, then I assume we revert back to the one we're presently working within,
Mhm.
and it might be more lenient than this one right here could possibly be, possibly.
The language seems more aggressive to my point of view in the older one. We actually have a document for the BIA saying what they should, water it down to. So, again, I don't want to get caught in the weeds of this, but why is the Builders Association of Industries telling our county what we should put into our document here? That should be our citizens, our people, not Louisville builders that come out here and they want to put stuff on 1/4 acre lots, with septics. It's ridiculous.
Well, they can't do that.
I know they can't, but they'll
I know,
try.
But you can't do that.
I know. Well, they work it so that they can get
They
the
know
exact number of, homes they can get with one entrance. And I get it. That's their job. That's fine. But this is for us. This is for our future, for what we want the county to look like.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Where is the language in KRS 100-197 that supports your argument?
The very first one, number 1, all elements of the comprehensive plan shall be prepared with a view towards carrying out the statement of goals and objectives.
With a view
Mhm.
towards carrying out the statement of goals and objectives. What's mandatory about that? Just because it has the word shall, it says that they shall have a view towards carrying out the statement of goals and objectives.
Okay,
Why
I'm
is
saying
your
they don't.
argument based on that sentence?
I'm saying this document does not have a view towards
Well,
carrying
that's
out the
entirely
statement.
your opinion, correct?
That's what I'm up here giving. I'm not
Okay.
giving your opinion.
Well, I appreciate that, but that's just your opinion that you basically think that this plan
I'm basing
is
it on
bad.
on reading, on the American language we've got in front of us here.
Okay, all right.
There's no view towards carrying out statement of, how would you carry out a statement of goals and objectives? I'll put that
I
back
would
on you.
probably pretty much just do exactly what they did.
That's a brochure.
And I don't know anything about the Builders Association. I just know that this is a hell of a lot of work that they've done. I don't
agree.
know about any alleged conspiracy that the
I'm not
Builders
saying there's a
Association
conspiracy.
out there doing this.
I'm
but
saying it's a
I
fact.
just want to know what is, so you've cited this KRS. When people hear citations, they think you're speaking the law, the fact.
It is the law. I'm just quoting the law.
Okay, but the law expresses that they should have an opinion or that they should have a view. It doesn't say they shall put specific measurements down to the thousandth of a millimeter as to how many contaminants can exist in a water. That's an administrative regulation, which is a subset of a law. This is just a goal. These are like saying, when you want to improve your life, you're supposed to set goals. So every 5 years, they're supposed to set goals. What's wrong with these goals? They're just goals.
It's a view shall be prepared with a view towards carrying out the statement of goals and objectives. That's what I'm talking about. How in this document does it tell you they're carrying out anything? 5 years from now, Beach, I'm sorry, sir.
Sir.
5 years from now, what in that document tells us they carried out any goal or objective? You answer that question, I will sit down.
Well, I think if the
I'll sit
drafters of this ordinance or this statute had said with a view for preparing an ordinance towards carrying out the statement of goals, then it probably would read more correctly. I think that's what the view is. The vision is to create laws that empower these good goals and objectives. I don't see any bad goals in here. It's like,
There's no
let's-
goals
let's-
in here. There's no goal in it. That is my whole point. If you guys read this and you see a bunch of goals, like I said, if you were a business coming to Oldham County and say, I want to buy Oldham County, show me what you're going to do in the next 5 years. There's nothing in there except for transportation. Jim did a wonderful job. There is nothing in there, guys. Nothing. This is not a plan. This is a brochure. It's a wonderful brochure.
Goal E1, this is a goal. all the people who met felt that this goal was important to preserve and improve the quality of Oldham County's natural resources, including the water, the air, and the soil, while protecting the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. Through a watershed-based approach to environmental planning and stormwater management. How come that's not a legitimate goal that they
When
like?
is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? How do you measure it? That is a goal. This is just bull. This is just baloney talk. That's like la, 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 la. That is not what a business person would put on a piece of paper if they wanted to meet a goal.
Well, what would they put in the place what I
They
just
put
read?
in 5 years from now, our watershed ABC is going to look like this. We're going to build it to that, to this standard. We're going to make it feed this many kids. I don't even know what a watershed does. But you know what I mean? They're going to have specifics in there that say exactly what they want to have accomplished. Am I wrong? You've got business people here.
And as a community,
Yeah.
as a government, how are they don't really have a crystal ball to say, well, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here, this is going to happen here. They have to set kind of an idea of what would be nice. But you don't want to.
That's not
come
a
in-
goal.
But you do, yes, but you don't want to go and hem yourself in with a certain goal. You know, I mean, I taught for 28 years. I taught school, and I wrote goals and objectives. Well, I have goals and objectives, but there were so many different variables that would happen during the day, or with the child, or with my class, or whatever. That things change.
Sure they do.
So if I had to do a goal and objective for 5 years, it has to be very broad.
It can be broad, but it has to be something. There is nothing in here.
Are you asking for a specific location? I mean, you asked for a goal, and they kind of gave a county goal, but are you specifying that they outlie a certain area, like a watershed, like you said?
Perhaps.
You got Floyd's Fork. What if they were to put a timeline on that, but it doesn't develop? So they put it in there. They've got a goal for that area, but nobody wants to put anything there. So that's what I'm asking.
But that's why we redo it. That's why the comprehensive 100.197, I encourage you all to read this because that's what we're talking about, is they talk about every 5 years we redo it. That's what a business would do. I as a business would say, I want to build 18,000 houses by 20. Okay, I got to 17,000. I got to readjust. I'm going to make a new plan for the next 5 years. This has none of that in it. None of that thinking is in here at all.
But to build houses, you got to have infrastructure. If you don't have the infrastructure in the grounds to put the houses, why put it in there that you're going to specify a location?
Well, that would be your goals, though. That would be your goal.
You gotta
If
have
you wanted
people that
to,
want to put stuff there.
I'm sorry.
You got to have people that want to put certain businesses or homes in that specific area that you outlined.
Well,
I'm just asking. I mean, I'm just saying.
Whatever. If let's just say that was the case,
Right.
you and I would sit down and we would brainstorm how we do that, and we would have specific goals and objectives. We'd be who's going to be lobbying these guys, who's going to talk to the concrete guys, who's going to talk to the, are we going to be able to get the materials in? We'd have a whole plan of series of objectives and timelines. We wouldn't just go, we are good builders and we're going to make nice stuff.
But
That's
wouldn't
what
we
this
have
plan
to-
says.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if we did that, wouldn't we have to take that before the planning and zoning anyhow? This is just the plan for the county. But if me and Barry sat down and we want to develop a farm,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have to take that to planning and zoning anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
even if it wasn't specified. I'll just give an example because I know it's a pretty new subdivision. Heather Glen. What if I'm sure that probably wasn't in the plan, but there was a developer that came in that wanted to develop that. So they had to sit down then.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be any, I guess I'm trying to
Well,
follow.
we're talking about two different things. We're talking about our plan as developers, if we were developers.
Right, but I
and
think
then I'm
that's what
talking
they're-
about our plan as a county
Right.
that we don't want that, or we do want that. And you're really clear by this document what we do want and what we don't want. And if it's something we don't want, our citizens don't want that, you shouldn't have the ability to build it. Again, the data center, these guys say it's a general. It should have been shut down in the first 5 seconds when he looked at that and goes, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?"
Okay, Barry.
Okay, you can get the hook
we've-
anytime. I'm sorry. I
We've
appreciate
heard
this.
your opposition to it.
I appreciate it.
So let's go ahead and see if perhaps anyone else here is opposed to the comp plan as in its written form. Thank you.
Mayor, I just had, can I ask one quick question?
Yes, sir.
Barry,
Yeah.
Barry, just so I'm clear, I'm taking a few
Jason would
notes.
like to ask you one question.
I'm taking a few notes. Was it my understanding, or did I get this correct, that you said what's been presented to us is not actually as strong as what's currently in effect? Was that your opinion?
I think the old one is stronger than this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
When I compared it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else here tonight in opposition to the comp plan that we have before us? Anyone? Okay. I would ask Barry for his closing argument, but I think we've already heard it. So I'll entertain a motion that we close the public hearing and go back into a regular session.
One more thing, Mayor, if I could I ask Anna just a few questions as well?
Sure,
I didn't
sure.
know.
Yeah, Anna, you'd like to come up, please?
Also, I have Ryan here. You may have noticed he joined us. So I may defer some answers to him.
I don't have that many questions, but okay. What I was going to question you about first was you did mention earlier that it would be, quote, illegal to have language like shall in a comprehensive plan. I wrote that down verbatim. Can you guide me, tell me, show me where that is anywhere in the Kentucky Revised Statutes or any case law or anything in Kentucky?
Yeah, so we consulted directly with our county attorney, and as you heard your city attorney today, because I'm not going to act as an attorney, because you wouldn't ask Mr. Craig Mile for medical advice because he's not a medical doctor. So that's why I always refer to our attorneys and let them advise us. And I'm just speaking on what they said specifically.
Okay.
And as you heard your city attorney say today.
Gotcha. So that statement that it would be illegal to have language like shall in a comprehensive plan was not actually your belief or your knowledge one way or the other. Is that correct?
That was what was informed to me.
Is that your opinion or is it not?
I mean, I'm going to go off of what the county attorney says, and I do believe that he's being honest.
Is Mr.
and your
Baxter
city
here
attorney.
so that I could ask him a few questions?
No, but you have a city
Okay,
attorney.
I'm
here,
getting-
yeah.
I would concur with that opinion.
Yeah, and he agrees.
Then I would ask Mr. Craig Mile the same thing. Can you cite
Yes,
me
I
anything?
agree.
Can you cite me anything in a Kentucky law, statute, anything, case law that says it is illegal to have language like shall in a comprehensive plan?
It goes back 300 years. To
Can
the law of
you
England.
cite it for me,
It's
please?
Common law.
Can you cite any kind of common law?
Common law. I don't have a case, no.
Okay. And Ms.
Do you
Barge,
have a case?
there is nothing. I'm just asking if you have anything because she put that out there as if that were, accurate. And I'm just trying to get some
Because it
basis of that
is.
statement. But anyway, the word shall is typically used, Ms. Barge, would you agree, to indicate a mandatory type requirement?
Yes, like a zoning ordinance.
Right. And that's why you said the words like should are used instead of shall, and encourage is used instead of require. Is that
Mhm.
fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, on objective T15, the word require is actually used in the very first paragraph. And in objective E11, require is used in the second paragraph, which would indicate to
sorry,
me.
can you slow down, please? T1, I'm trying to follow along with you.
Sure.
T1.
T15.
Utilize traffic impact analysis to project, describe, and suggest ways of offsetting the effects of development when appropriate. So this goes back to where it says require for all developments that will generate 100 or more inbound or outbound trips during peak hours. So that goes through our subdivision regulations, and our subdivision regulations require that specifically.
Okay. So the word require is actually used.
It's used because it meets our subdivision regulations.
And also in E11, the word require is used.
E1. Don't go the wrong way, sorry. E11. Diversify the property tax base by attracting commercial or office, commercial, agribusiness, and industrial development in appropriate determined areas. Promote in development. Oh wait, sorry, that's economic development, not environment. My bad. The E's are getting. You said E11?
Yes.
Best management practices should be used on individual development sites to control erosion into lakes and streams, prevent hazardous materials from degrading surface or groundwater resources, and protect water from other types of environmental threats. Review and update the soil erosion control ordinance periodically to ensure that the most current and best practice managements are being employed in the ordinance. And then require secondary containment, treatment, and emergency response plans that propose solutions such as storing and dispensing of petroleum products, chemical storage, and sale or transfer of potential contaminants. So now we have, you probably know, Jim Silliman is our county stormwater manager, and we have federal laws that go into that as well.
Right. But the word require is also in that in section 2, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess my point is with words like require, you could use words like shall, unless somebody can show me some kind of illegality of that actual word. You could use words like shall to replace some words should, and throughout this document that could potentially make this document stronger. I think that's what I'm hearing from Mr. Laws. Maybe I'm hearing that wrong, but would you agree with that?
I mean, I think that we should follow the advice of our attorneys, but that's what I typically follow.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments.
Okay. Now I need a motion to go out of public hearing back into our regular discussion at the council table. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion
I'll
made by
second it.
Laura Taylor, second by Lucy Ricketts to go out of the public hearing back into regular session. Motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Mr. Craigmont. Any final thoughts, comments?
What, yeah, just very quickly, I was looking at the overriding introductory statements, the prefatory statements that define a goal as statements to establish broad desired outcomes for the vision statement. This is a vision. This is not the law. This is a vision, like Moses had a vision, It's the way we should act, but do we act? And if we don't, is there a law that punishes us? And the objectives are goals that are is supported by objectives, which help to define the meaning of the goal, specify strategies to achieve the goal, and provide a greater sense of direction. These don't sound like shalls to me. That's all I have to say.
Answer this question for me then. Mr. Laws was talking about, I can't recite what exactly he said, but it's something about getting in and around streams that a builder or someone developing a piece of property, pushing dirt or something or excess something maybe towards the stream. And I think what he was saying was they should not do that. That's what it says. But his opinion is if it's going to mess up the stream, we know it. Should this document says you shall not do that. You just won't do it.
This
Now,
document
so
should not say that.
That should not say that.
No, this document says what the law should say, which is the ordinance, or it's the federal law. And I just, question a little bit how much you've looked into this, Barry, because you should know that you can't possibly have a septic tank on a quarter acre. It's a state law. Well, okay, that was just an example, but it just blew my mind that you would even suggest that somebody could put a septic tank on 4 to an acre.
I'm not specifically
Okay.
saying that at all.
Okay, so that's all you've got to say about the situation, about the comp plan.
Well, that's not all I have to say.
Well, I know,
I'm trying to answer the
but you're saying shall.
This is just a goal. they are statements that establish broad desired outcomes for the vision statement. The vision statement it describes the overall direction of the comprehensive plan. I mean, it's just, the original thing was a vision, 2020 vision. And it was passed in 2007 or something like that. That was the original. So they were looking 13, 15 years in the future. And we just came up with another one. We're looking 5 years in the future. And I think the original vision plan 2020 was pretty darn good. I mean, I've never seen so much green in a map before. So I'm not sure what we're doing wrong. But anyway, that's all I really am showing my bias that I believe this is a worthy plan. But I'm not here to testify. I'm just here to try to interpret what this plan, these goals and objectives say, and what they're supposed to say. I think that's what your question is. What are they supposed to say? And I think they say what they're supposed to say, which is give our legislators, the people that you folks there, the idea of what, when you do enact laws, when you do enact things like the data center regulations that are going to come up next month, then make sure that you believe that they adhere to these goals and objectives. I mean, that's your responsibility. This gives you some basis for rational thinking rather than just emotional reaction.
So is this more of, and I'm going to use layman's terms, is this more of a guideline for us to go off of to then present something to the PBA or the final decision makers that we would have to follow then? This is more just a guide, right?
Exactly. Every time somebody challenges a law, people want to know what the reasons are that you made this law or why you voted against this law. These are your reasons. Okay. If you've ever been to a planning and zoning hearing, 90% of the lawyers there only talk about LU1 and LU2, right? That's land use, LU1, LU2. Provide for planned and orderly growth to protect land and premature or unsuitable development. I mean, those are by definition vague and ambiguous terms that are suitable to semantic battles all night long as to what is a suitable or premature development. These just give you the guide, the goals of what you want. The ordinances come in to try to define what it means to have a planned and orderly development. That's why we have a zoning system, Ag 1, Ag 2, R1, R2, R3, R2A and stuff. Those are all the shalls, These are the shoulds. I mean, that's all I can explain of what a plan is.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve this plan before the council tonight. We do have a motion, a second. Do we have any more discussion that anybody would like to offer before I call for the vote?
One thing that I would like to mention is that I understand that there was a public hearing, but it was not something that I was aware of, and a lot of people were not aware of. So I don't know how well that was publicized, but I think if you're going to develop a plan for the community, I think Mr. Laws has a good point that you need to involve the community. And I'm not convinced that was publicized well enough in order to involve the community. And also, this is more of a question, really. Is there like a list all together of all of these goals? Because I have it spread through a large number of pages here, and I'm having a hard time just reading through it. Is there something more concise, a document that's more concise?
What you have is our goals and objectives. We didn't put like everything in a table or anything. We thought that that was probably easier to read.
I see.
And we did advertise in the Oldham area every time. We advertised on social media. We put flyers up, and I can go back. I mean, we had our one in LaGrange. How many people did we have there? Over 100. I mean, it was tight in there at times. So I'm not sure why you weren't aware of it. I mean,
We have thousands of people who live in LaGrange.
oh, I know. I mean,
And
obviously
so,
not everyone's going to be there.
You know,
but
I mean, not, you
we got
can't expect
hundreds.
everybody to be there, but also I'm just not convinced that it was well publicized
we
enough.
we got a ton of a lot more public input this time than the last one, and so you can't possibly advertise to everyone, but it's really confusing as to why you weren't aware of it, because I believe it was sent out to city councils as well. So I'm not really sure.
It would, you know, you could come here and make an announcement at the city council meeting, and that would help get the word out as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. You want to speak?
I mean, once again, I don't know how much more we could do as far as to try to get people here. First off, there was a very big hot button issue going on at the same time we did all of these public hearings, which provided a lot of extra advertisement to the comprehensive plan. And that was plastered all over many, many Facebook pages all over Oldham County, along with a lot of other things going on at the same time. We had 5 public hearings, all in different locations of this county, including Westport, which never gets their due. We went out to Goshen. We went right here in LaGrange. We went to Ballardsville. We went to Crestwood. We advertised all 5 of those. They were on all of the digital boards all over the county. It was in the Oldham era, every single meeting we had. I don't know what more other than going door to door and knock on everybody's door, but there are 70,000 people in this community, and we got a whopping 120 comments. The last comprehensive plan had about 12 people at their public meetings, 12. But Mr. Law stated that comprehensive plan is great. So maybe we need less public input to have a great plan rather than this one where we had more. So I don't know. There's many more comments I could make of stuff that's been said tonight, but I'll just address that question.
Okay, anyone else have any comments about anything on this plan tonight?
Did you say that Crestwood and Pewee Valley have to vote on this too?
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious.
Yes, so the comprehensive plan typically has been taken to all of the legislative bodies in the past. Truly, the comprehensive plan does not have to have a public hearing. The Planning Commission approved this on October 9th. If in 90 days, according to the KRS, a legislative body hasn't taken action, it's automatically approved. So at the end of the day, 90 days from October 9th, the clock starts running on any sort of legislative body that would maybe like to make an amendment that something would need to be changed or anything of that nature. But yes, so it went to Crestwood a couple weeks ago. So they do theirs different. They do their public hearing and first reading together. So they did theirs in November. Wednesday night will be at Pewee Valley for the second reading. And then Oldham County Fiscal Court will do theirs on the 16th of December. Crestwood, they were going to take their vote in January to approve is when their typical meeting is because they don't do a December meeting. They're looking for a day to do a special meeting where they just vote on the comprehensive plan so that it's done by the end of the year. So, but yes, we take it to all the legislative bodies.
Thank you.
Ryan, this is where I'm having a little bit of trouble because I've been to a lot of planning meetings and I always hear that once a magistrate or a council person or a planning commission moves to adopt and approve something, they start reciting, I move to adopt the plan here tonight, goal E1, I want to include that in my approval, goal E12, E14, and then they will all refer to the county attorney, say, is that motion acceptable, Mr. Attorney? And he'll usually say yes, but they've cited all these. Now, they use this in their closing statement to argue their point that we've met the goals and objectives of your own comprehensive plan, Mr. Planning Unit. So we've met those. And my question for you is, Ryan, is there room in here that, and not to say we'll go with Barry's wish, because my attorney says that's not what's supposed to be in here, but does it give attorneys wiggle room to say that's goal because it said should, but if it had said shall, couldn't have used it, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll answer it this way: is you will see attorneys, and you all have heard this when they've come before zoning map amendments here, is that they'll say we've complied, and Beach is right. Most of them use LU1 and LU2, and I think that's as far as they get. We have one of our local attorneys that does a lot of cases. We've guilted him into where his last couple of cases he's actually used 4 different areas to go off of. So I'll joke on him a little bit, even though he's not here to defend himself. So with that being said, I'll say this, is that opposition attorneys who come before cases before the Planning Commission also use those same goals to say a developer has not met goal objective, and it could be an environmental one, it could be a whatever. The point to make and to think about with the comprehensive plan, and me and Mr. Laws can disagree. I didn't go to law school, so I'm not going to try to speak like an attorney, but at the end of the day, I'll speak in Kentucky terms. We're going to talk basketball, right? We have a game plan when we go out onto the court to play another team. We're going to run up and down the court. We're going to press these guys. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's our game plan when we go into this. What we may find as the game starts, hey, you know what? We're going to lose this game bad if we keep this offense up, or if we keep this press up, or whatever. So that's where the comprehensive plan needs to be that guide, because things do change. Things are fluid. The rules and the regulations come in the comprehensive zoning ordinance. That's like the rule book in basketball. Your game plan doesn't change the rule book. The rule book still calls a hand check this, a foul this, a technical foul this. That's all in the rule book. And that's in our comprehensive zoning ordinance. So when we talk about environmental objectives, as I was driving here, somebody said one about lighting. That's covered in the lighting regulations. There are regulations about septic tanks in subdivision regulations. That's where the regulatory language comes in based off the guidance of the comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plan is that overall vision, that overall guide. And yes, it doesn't have that language in there like he'd like, but that's where the zoning ordinance comes into play. That's where the subdivision regulations come into play, our lighting regulations, our sign regulations.
Setbacks.
Yes, setbacks. So that's where that language comes in. So I don't know how much to make that more clear, but I mean,
You gotta have room to adjust.
yeah. And the shall language, a perfect example right now of the shall language, whereas if it was in the comp plan, it would hurt the public, is there is a proposed subdivision that is going to be going in very soon out in the county near the area of, where's that at? South Camden Lane. Okay. Our comp plan encourages connectivity between neighborhoods. And if you look at this neighborhood as a perfect definition of an infill neighborhood, there are neighborhoods all around it. And there's this piece of farmland that is right smack in the middle of subdivisions. Our comp plan encourages connectivity when possible for a lot of different reasons, for emergency services, for there's a dam in that location. If there was a breach of that dam, to have 2 ways out of a neighborhood for an emergency route. There's a lot of different reasons why we would encourage connectivity. The neighbors in that area don't want that connectivity for a lot of reasons, because their neighborhood will become a cut through. So right now, the neighbors have an option to come before the Planning Commission when this case comes and argue against that. If we put shall language in the comp plan, there's no debate. You have to connect. And that's where the comp plan, if you use that language, will stronghold not only the developer like some people want, but it will stronghold the public. And that's not what the comp plan is designed to do. So.
Well, I've got thoughts on that, but we'll save them. I know exactly what you mean on those connectivity subdivisions. You get yourself in a bad situation trying to connect subdivisions when the subdivision's been there for 35 years and now you got adjoining property wanting to come through and you say it shall be for a certain reason. Okay. Are we finished discussing this, folks? Yeah, yeah. All right, close.
Can I call for the question?
Yes.
Did I call for the question?
Okay. Let's see. Let's start with Lucy and go towards Latasha and then come back to Laura and come back this way. Go ahead, Lucy.
All right. Could you just state, you want to restate what we're voting on? Just
To approve
to
ordinance.
approve or just, okay. I approve a yes.
Latasha?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Laura? Trey?
I still had some questions to ask. I would like to know, are we getting the comprehensive zoning plan to review at soon? Comprehensive zoning ordinance. I think the main, I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask my question because you called for the question, but
Yeah, it's supposed to end debate. Keep moving.
well, I
I
don't.
wish you would ask it while we're still discussing, but
Well, I
Lucy
couldn't,
called
'cause
the question and said,
somebody called the question,
know.
so.
you voting, Trey?
I don't know. I don't like some of the language in here as well. I had questions just on how some of these things are going to be accomplished. I'm gonna, can you go to the next person? Maybe I'll
No.
go. No?
No. No, I'm not going to do that to him.
Yeah. I'm not, I appreciate the effort that, people put into this. I guess I'm requesting that we see the comprehensive zoning ordinance and I would like to know where data centers fit into these categories.
What was, nah, I better stay away from that. Let's go. Keep moving.
And to me, this seems like a guide. I feel like I've been on the other side of this guide. I don't love it, but at this point, I guess without being able to ask some questions, I'm going to say no.
Kenneth? Al?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
And Jason?
No.
3 to 4.
Passes.
Four yes, 4 yeses.
4 yes and 3 no's. Okay. Motion passes. All righty. Thank you all for all your comments and thoughts. And let's go on to our next item, resolution number 2025, a resolution that was developed in part with the KIPTA. What's that? Sorry. Is that? What's that now?
A resolution accepting traffic study.
So that's not correct? Okay. Okay, we have a resolution we need to approve tonight. It's a resolution that's been submitted to us, I think, by Corey. It's a resolution number 05-2025, whereas the City of LaGrange did on January 21st, 2025, enter into an agreement with QK4 Incorporated for the consultant to provide the Commerce Parkway traffic study, and whereas the study included portions of Commerce Parkway in both unincorporated Oldham County and the incorporated limits of the City of LaGrange, and as such, the study was funded by both Oldham County Fiscal Court and the City of LaGrange, and whereas a draft of the study was presented to the Oldham County Economic Development Committee, a subcommittee of Oldham County Fiscal Court at their May 6, 2025 meeting, whereas a final draft of the study was presented to the LaGrange City Council at their June 2nd, 2025 meeting, and whereas a final draft of the study was presented to the Oldham County Fiscal Court at their June 3rd, 2025 meeting, now therefore be resolved that the LaGrange City Council hereby accepts the study dated June 10th, 2025 as guidance for future development along Commerce Parkway corridor, wherefore the above resolutions were passed at a regular meeting of the City Council upon motion regularly made and second discussion and vote of the council. Those in favor, those against, those abstaining with the concurrence of the city mayor and under his signature on the first day of December 2025. We do a roll call vote on this resolution that Corey needs us to approve on his behalf tonight.
Mayor, can I make a quick question?
Yes.
In this particular agenda, it listed resolution number 2025 dash, also stated a resolution that was developed in part with the KIPTA KYTC road verification project. So I have a concern that the resolution that you actually read that's up tonight for a vote was not actually noticed at all, was not put on the agenda, and I don't know that it was publicized to the public. So that, I have a concern about that.
It was on the website as of Friday, same time you all got it. It was just labeled wrong on the agenda. But it was posted on the website and sent out to you all with your package.
Okay. Okay. So our email has the correct information on it?
Yes. You've got on the agenda is the error, but your actual resolution is the correct resolution.
Right, okay.
And what was posted on the website is the correct resolution.
Okay. All right. So you're stating this was properly published?
It was, yes, posted on the website.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we don't have a motion to approve it. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Kenneth Taylor, second by Joe Davenport. Do a roll call vote, please. Heather,
Can I
to
make,
start.
can I ask a
Yes, ma'am.
question?
Go ahead.
I remember reading the study this summer where we had someone come and they were talking about plans and I remember they were talking about roundabouts and we had all this. Is that what we're talking about here? Is that?
Yes.
We're not talking about any roundabouts in this thing.
No.
Surely not.
Can we lobby for less roundabouts?
It's the same study, yes. 2K4 did for Commerce Parkway.
Okay.
Some of it's just kind of hypothetical, but mostly this pertains to alignments for driveways or entrances to businesses on Commerce Parkway. That they have it outlined in the study. Try to use that as a guide for the most part. Sometimes it may not work if they want to have two entrances, but it's kind of a basic guide to help us hold them to our principles per se.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So that
But it's the same study.
it's the same study, but this is a portion of it,
It's just for Commerce Parkway.
just for Commerce.
Right. Use it as a guide.
Okay.
You okay, Laura? You okay?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to actually see that portion that we're going to be voting on.
So Corey, and the mayor was just talking about roundabouts. Are you saying that as guidance for future development along Commerce Parkway, the document that does include advocating roundabouts is actually part of this?
It was part of the traffic study, yes.
So we could just potentially have that being looked at as potential guidance for roundabouts at any point in time on this
Sure.
issue?
Right.
Okay.
Correct. It's saying the traffic study as a whole.
But the roundabout they were talking
Guidance.
about was at 393 and Commerce Parkway, wasn't it?
Right. For the whole corridor study, we went from Parker Drive
Yeah, it was out,
all the way
it was
down
in the
to-
county.
Right.
The roundabout that
portion
was
as well.
discussed in this study was at 393 and Commerce Parkway, correct?
Right.
Anybody have any further concerns or anything? Anyone?
Was that the only roundabout that was in that study?
That's what I thought. Would y'all know
Because
of
I
any
thought
other
there
one?
was some discussion of, and maybe it was just he was saying he thought it would be a good idea, but he was talking about going into LaGrange where we've got McDonald's and that area. He was talking about that area too. Maybe that was just his idea. Maybe it wasn't written in there, but I remember him saying that. And I thought, oh my gosh, we don't need to have that.
It would still come before this body anyway. The
Right there by
argument is that
McDonald's.
They're safer, you know. Whole.
Are
Not
y'all
necessarily
against
that that's,
roundabouts?
you have to
I'm
use
confused.
roundabouts per se. It's just the traffic study itself.
I do got a question. Are y'all
Yes, ma'am.
against roundabouts? Do we not want roundabouts? I'm confused why roundabouts are a problem.
Some
Oh,
people
I,
don't.
I, you know,
I'm just checking.
every time I go around about, my wife hollers at me, watch out.
That's because you get in a loop and go around it for hours and hours.
I just keep on going around in circles.
They're all different too. so
Parliament.
they're-
Big Ben.
I think that they're not safe.
I said, I didn't see a tractor trailer coming. Okay, do y'all want to pass this resolution or not, or you want to sit on it and table it and come back for a discussion? I mean, it's just something the county wanted us to do in concurrence with them. Don't we have a motion, a second, to pass it?
I'll make a motion.
Excuse me?
I said I'll make a motion to pass it.
Okay, we have a motion, second, Latasha, thank you. Okay, let's go roll call vote, start with Latasha. Go ahead, Latasha.
Yes.
Okay, Lucy,
Yes.
Jason,
No.
okay, Joe,
Yes.
Kenneth,
Yes.
Trey,
Yes.
and Laura.
No.
5 yes.
Okay, all right. Let's go to committee reports, everyone. Parks and Recreation, Trey Kamer.
The Parks Committee met on November 12th. I'm mainly just going to, just in the interest of time, just touch on just a very few highlights, more of a kudos, I guess. But in the director's report section, Steve and Dool have stained all the wood that needs to be stained out at Eagle Creek. They've spent some time improving the doors at Walsh Park. So all that was very much appreciated. The only or an action that we took was there were some gentlemen that came in, some local, some out of state, but have ties to the community that requested that we put in a Frisbee golf par 3, 3-hole Frisbee golf at Wilburn Park. They have bought the equipment. The ask was for the city to install it. They demonstrated what Frisbee golf was. Like I said, they did. We have the equipment in hand currently, but the committee took a vote to approve Frisbee golf 2-1 at Wilburn Park. I don't know if that's something that the council, you want the council to take action on as well, or that was the recommendation from the Parks Committee to approve Frisbee golf at Wilburn Park. So I'll pause there for a minute.
If no council member has any problem with it and the Parks wants to do it, then go ahead with it. Unless council member has any issue with it. I mean, if anybody has a concern about Frisbee golf, but I know myself, Trey, Steve, Mahoney, the couple guys that showed us how the course would be.
Corey,
Still-
Patrick.
Corey was there, Patrick. So anybody have any problem with Frisbee golf?
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Isn't there a Frisbee golf at the park over there by the community center in Buckner? The John Black Community Center, isn't there?
The Boy Scouts helped with that.
Yeah, the Boy Scouts put that one in.
I did kind of give the background on that. So the Boy Scouts had approached us prior to that one, and then I guess they liked that location better. One of the gentlemen that played Frisbee golf, he had been to that one. He stated that there's a high likelihood of losing your disc
Water.
in the pond there. So, right, find the water hazard, but it seemed to be low impact. And if it was something that we didn't feel like was a good fit down the road, it's not that hard to remove if we chose to. So hearing no opposition, I'm just going to continue if that's okay with you, Mayor.
Sir,
Okay. Finley Altman Welding Dream Scholarship Fund. There's a cost associated with it, but it's for the proceeds. Adults are $10 and children are $5, 10 and under. I don't want to misstate that. I don't know. I guess 10 and under are $5 is how I'm reading this. This pancake breakfast, I think, has been here from our discussion for 5 years, I think. I didn't capture that part, but the Aiden Finley Altman was a student in the area that has passed away. I don't know how many of y'all knew the story there, but it is for the scholarship fund. So just wanted to promote that event is happening on Saturday. That's in our next meeting we will have on December 10th, so next Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
okay, is that it, Trey?
That's it. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Economic Development, Community Development, Jason Kinzer's not here. Anyone want to speak? That's part of that committee at all? Anyone?
So Kenneth and I are both on that one. I'll speak just a little bit. We did not have our meeting in November. We just had some conflicts. Tried to change the date and just couldn't get it worked out. But I think we are scheduled for December 11th. However, now there's a cookie event with tourism on the same date and time. So we may have to reschedule it, I guess. You agreed to your cookie event on December 11th.
You scheduled it. Yeah. You can sleep it. 5 to 8, we'll be there.
So we need to reschedule the street committee.
This is a light joke, but I think we can move our committee meeting. We've moved it a couple other times, but
You could have it 30 minutes at the place before the
We
event
could.
starts. So just have it at 4:30.
yes, I think we may have some guests. They just kind of ask if we do change the date or location or time, just to let them know in advance. So I guess from a committee standpoint, we could talk about those 3 items and see what we can work out.
We can just vote on it now, me and you.
Yeah. That's true. I'd like to give the chairman a chance, though, I guess. So,
Is
you got
that it?
anything else?
Is that it,
That's
guys?
We're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ordinance, Laura Taylor. Anything tonight, Laura?
Yeah, we discussed the parking ordinance at length during the meeting and kind of still hashing out some of that. We also discussed the ethics ordinance, and I would request again feedback from council members who had concerns about the ethics ordinance to provide that information to us prior to the next meeting. Also, which will be in December, we had said that we were going to move it to the next week. So that would be December 16th, Tuesday, December 16th. And
Same time, Laura.
same time, yeah. And finally, we discussed the code enforcement job duties ordinance. So we are continuing to work on sign ordinance. We've just gotten too many ordinances on our plate to discuss right now, but that is also in the works.
Okay. Is that it, Laura?
That's it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I had a question for Beach on one of those things that you comment on. I had not sent any comments or anything. Are we able to send email comments through email to a committee as a non-committee member, but as a council member? Is that acceptable? Or is it, I know it's a little bit of a gray area, but, or
Well,
it feels that way.
as long as decisions aren't made, I mean, it's.
So I wouldn't be a part, I guess if I did send a comment, let me play this out. So if I send a comment on something,
That's why I asked him, everybody says they've got quote concerns.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've not heard any concerns except one, and I have not received any in writing except one. So if anybody has any concerns about stuff, you can send it to me, especially since I requested it, because I'm not an elected council member. In terms of, there's just going to be a tendency of email for people to just click on the respond button.
Yeah.
And then that creates an open meeting violation right there. So if we could behave, you know, I mean, I hear there's a program out there called Slack, you know, and they use this in government, okay, that anticipates and helps people have, there's got to be a better way to communicate with each other. Maybe we should just, you know, and call somebody up and say, what do you think about that? Because you can talk to as many people as you want, but it's just when these group mails is when you create the problems. And so I don't have an answer for you, Trey.
I would suggest that if someone were to send to me, these are my concerns about this ordinance, send it to me because I'm the committee chair. If I just say thank you,
yeah,
and I take them to committee,
right,
I don't see that there's any kind of violation there. I
That's
think
okay.
I think the problem is when there's a whole bunch of people included and there's a whole bunch of back and forth.
Yep.
That's when you've got more of an issue. But you know, if people have issues about something, they just send it to me and then I take it to committee. I don't think we have a problem.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that it on that matter? If it is, then we're gonna go to 15, public comment. Again, anyone want to talk publicly about anything? Okay.
We, the cookie meeting.
Meeting. I just wanted to say we've had a huge coat drive, and anyone that needs a coat or a child, just reach out to us.
When you say donate, or is that new or gently used?
Gently used.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Chief, you want to say anything at all to the public about Light Up LaGrange and any safety measures or what we're going to have there in terms of law enforcement presence and stuff like that?
Once again, especially if the weather's pretty, we're expecting high attendance rate. So we'll have our partner agencies assisting us, Oldham County Police, the Sheriff's Office, the Kentucky State Police will have representation there, and we'll have some other forms of security. We will put up the visual barrier along the rail line. I've already submitted the CSX slow order advising CSX of the condition of the event and how estimated to be high pedestrian activity and vehicle detours in place. Essentially, we will put out a social media post with all the detours and road closures and the times that those will kick into effect as we approach Saturday.
Okay.
And we'll once again have like I said, the rail line, especially with the concern of young children, toddlers, and the elderly in the area. We can't force a train not to travel, but CSX does their best with the slow orders to at least avoid, in our experience, the time of Santa's escort that's not a parade comes through. But even when that's not going on, if the train traverses the rail line, there is a public hazard there. And we'll have the law enforcement staff and possibly even the fire staff assisting us to man that line, because it's not a hard physical barrier. It's just the delineator codes with pennant ropes that's going to be run through it this year. Every year we experiment a little bit. One year we did barrier tape, didn't last that long. Once everybody leaned and broke it, we got plastic crowd control chain. They've managed to break that. So this year we're going to try the OSHA pennant lines that they use for rooftop safety and see what it is. What could backfire on us is If it gets tangled in a train, it could daisy chain the whole cone line down. So we're going to break it in segments, but do the best we can, but keep the pedestrian crossings open on Main Street.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, any discussion related to any old business, anyone?
I'm going to go back to the comprehensive planning section. So we currently have our moratorium in effect. Are we planning, I would have liked to have known, are we going to see the comprehensive zoning ordinance come before this body to discuss specifically data centers? And when would that happen? Does anybody know? So the because Mr. Fisher referenced several times the comprehensive zoning ordinance is basically the law behind the guide, I guess. So when will we see the comprehensive zoning ordinance? Do you have an idea?
That doesn't get replaced every 5 years.
Right.
This is the plan.
Understand.
There is, I mean, the zoning ordinance is, it's not being, it gets amended ordinance by ordinance.
So if we,
The data center regulations will, when they're, I think they're added to or amended to the current section in the zoning ordinance. Like a section 242 or something like that, and then it'll be data centers. It'll become a part of the zoning ordinance. Once it's, in order to amend the zoning ordinance, which is by agreement amongst everybody in Fulton County and under a comprehensive plan, by agreement, there's only one zoning ordinance, and that's the one that the county has. And then the cities all agree to follow the zoning ordinance as it may be amended uniquely for each city. So each city can have its own area. That's what they mean by home rule. Like each little city can have a different rule for lighting or something. Each city can have a different rule for sound nuisances. But in general, there's a consensus that 99% of the zoning ordinance of the county applies to 99% of the county and each of the cities that are in it. So,
I think,
when will we have the one for the data center? Is that your specific one? That would probably come up in January.
for a first reading?
Right.
Okay.
That's if the county passes theirs, then
So the county has one in the works. Is that?
that was Ryan's plan, was to try to get it onto the January docket. He wanted to get it on December docket. He can't. So I think he's going to have it in the January docket for the fiscal court.
Okay.
For the comprehensive plan or for the data center regulations are you talking about?
he's talking about the data center regulations. When will we get those?
They'll come after in January, I think is when we'll probably have it. I mean, they finalized it.
Okay. Do you, and I realize they've left, so do you know what category on, I guess it starts on page 76. Do you know what category data centers would fall into by chance? Or is there a category that'll be, I'm assuming there won't be a new category, otherwise they would have waited for this to go through.
Page 76 of the comprehensive plan you're looking at? Or?
Yes.
Well, I don't think they've created a whole, there's only 6 areas. There's only 6 goals, and then there's numerous objectives, but there's only 6 goals. And so I do not think they created the whole goal just for data centers.
Maybe,
like
yeah.
But there will be
Let me revise it. So I guess what I'm talking about, there's a table. It's goes from 1.1 to 1.12. So there's 12 categories. And there, I guess some of the categories are on these maps and some of them aren't or whatever, on the ones that they highlighted. But do you know out of the 1 through 12 where data centers will fall? Like what is it classified as?
You talking about
Is that-
zoning classification of them?
Future land use category?
Let's just, for example, if you're talking about I-1 zoning, okay, then you'll have the column on the left, which is permitted uses, column on the right, which is conditional uses. Okay, so in the future, there will now be a category called data center. Whereas before, people argued over whether a data center is a private utility or not. Okay, because nobody had ever invented a data center in 1964 when these zoning ordinance was first adopted. So it's now being placed on there because people are arguing over what it is. So it will now in the future, if the zoning ordinance is amended by means of adopting the regulations, then that will come before us in the first of the year, January and February, more likely.
Okay. I just would have, I mean, that's the primary reason these are primary reasons why I voted no, but I mean, it just looks like data centers could fall into several categories on this chart. I just would have liked to have known and have been more clear, but I don't feel like it's clear. So that's why I voted no. Anyways, I won't ask any more questions for now. Thanks.
Okay, we're still in any old business. That's what Trey was talking about under 16. Anything else from anyone old wise? Anyone want to talk about anything new wise?
Mayor, real quick.
Yes, sir.
I spoke with Magistrate Woosley briefly earlier, and he asked me to relay some streetlights that were out to the council. I don't know if there's something you can help with, but he said there were 2 streetlights out on East Kentucky, one at the corner of Kentucky and Yeager, and one at the corner of 4th and Main. And I told him I would relay that on to everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too. So that's, Jason brought that up. So that's new business. Any announcements from any city council person tonight?
I'll add to what he just said. I've had the most success by going through their website. Like I called and there's a number on the pole and they're like, that's not going to tell me anything. And I had to call multiple times, but I had the most success by sending an email, and to Corey's point, saying this is the address where this pole's right around, and they fixed it within a day or two. I mean, they had a great response through their website. So
Yeager was just recently replaced.
Write those 2 down, Jason just mentioned, please.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Do we have a date for the employee Christmas party?
Yes. What day is that, Heather? I can't remember. 18th?
18th?
Yeah, yes. And
What date? The 18th?
yeah,
18th.
everyone's invited. I didn't know if
There was an
Heather or
email
Shelby
that-
got it out. Did
Yeah,
you
there
get
was
it
an
out?
email that.
Somehow,
did you get the email?
I must have missed it.
Okay, be the 18th. 11 to 1.
And there was a sign up sheet.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be a lot of
Thank you,
fun, so
Steve.
show up.
Yes.
Excuse me?
I said, thank you, Steve.
If y'all can get here, please show up if you can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anyone else have any announcements? If you can, try to make it Saturday night, y'all, if you wanna take part in Light Up LaGrange. Come downtown, get you a cold beer and walk the street. Walk on the street and just don't get ran over by the train, please. But anyway, I don't know if we're gonna there's gonna be a lot going on, I'm sure. Anyone else have anything for tonight?
I have a request. If
Yes, ma'am.
possible. After we adjourn, if you all could give us 2 minutes to do a picture one-on-one with each council member. We're just trying to get it for the new publishment that's going out. We're trying to get it uniform.
I would rather not see this one.
Yeah. but
Excuse
they were
me?
just Trying to get like a uniform, like all in the same.
Excuse me?
It's okay.
I don't want to take any pictures tonight.
Well, it's going out. but if you can't do it.
Okay, let's adjourn. Let's go ahead and get a motion to adjourn and see y'all Saturday night, hopefully. How about that?
I'll make.
Motion made by Latasha and second by Lucy Ricketts. All's in favor of the motion, let me know I'm saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, good. Okay, now what do you need this picture for, Heather?